Good evening. Welcome to American Hammers TV. Still part of the American Hammers Network after all these years. And yes, we're back on. Yeah, we're back on. And I know it's been too long since we've done a show, and that's my fault, and I apologize. I haven't been available, but we're on a Monday night, and we're going to try to come back on this Friday night as well. So take a look for us then. Thinking we're going to move our weekly to Friday nights if we can. We get Selly back on that way. That'd be good. And we get, we could kick the weekend off that way. We're going to have a couple more people come in tonight. I see James just joined us. But let me start with a couple of quick things. First of all, if you haven't checked out ahtv.threadless.com, so threadless, THREADLESS, please check that out. You can get gear from your supporters groups, local supporters groups, wherever you live in the United States or around the world. You can get West Ham gear, not really licensed West Ham gear, but it says West Ham on it. It looks nice. You can get American Hammers TV stuff. It helps us a lot. We need the money to pay for our StreamYard system that we use to broadcast. So, and the bills are coming due. So, if you could check that out, that would be super helpful. If you would be kind enough to like and subscribe, that would help us a lot too. And tell your friends, all right? Tell your friends who are West Ham. Let them know that we're here. Let them know what we're doing and what we're trying to do for the club. That would be great. That would be super helpful. I have another thing I want to mention. Well, just while we're getting started here, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. This is a personal thing that I'm doing. That's not an American Hammers TV thing. This is just me. But I have a friend, my friend Ensa in the Gambia in West Africa, has put together a West Ham Gambia youth club. He has 70 kids in this club, and he is the only coach. He's 16 years old. Is the only coach. Got 70 kids. So I have been trying to help raise some money for him and his players. And in fact, I was able to send them some money, and they were able to pick up some new boots because a lot of them don't have like proper boots. They don't have proper gear and stuff like that. And I just wanted to show you. Hang on a second here. I'm going to show you. There's Tom. I'm going to show you, and we'll get back to normal stuff. But here we go. Here's some of the guys. They have an under 15 team and an under 17. And these are some of the under 15 guys. And if you look at the boots, those are the boots that we were able to raise money to buy for them. So he is an amazing kid. I hate to say kid. He's really a young man. He's 16, but he's really a young man. And he's just done a fantastic job, a brilliant job getting this together. They're trying to be tournament ready. Aston Villa have a big youth club in the Gambia. They're trying to compete with the Villa Youth Club. They're trying to do some they're trying to get be like a proper club. I see they've got some kits there that they didn't have before, but we were able to get 8 pairs of shoes for the boys who needed them the most, and you see them wearing them there. And so we're going to try to collect money for shoes, balls, whatever equipment we can. Anybody, and some of you have already given very generously, and I appreciate that a lot. Anybody who is interested, I'm going to pop the link in the chat here, and there's a GoFundMe link. And I'm also, if you want to find me on Twitter, you see my handle there on the screen. Ask me about it. I'll send you the link to donate. I really appreciate it. And if you have stuff too, if you have old boots, balls, things you don't need anymore, send it their way. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be money. It can be stuff. So as I'm showing you my GoFundMe page here. Anyway, so if you could. I know there's a lot going on in the world. Believe me, and a lot of people are asking you for your money and your time. I totally get that. I feel the same way too. If you could find it to help these guys who really love our club, who are doing it for West Ham, who are trying to start something in a part of the world where there's a lot of difficulty, that'd be wonderful. So I appreciate it. All right, who do we have? Who do we have tonight? Who are our friends tonight? We got Lucas. As always, next to me over here, yes, in Maryland. From Reno, Nevada, we got Scott. Yeah.
Yep.
Down in the bottom of this corner of the screen there is our Tuomi Atherton. Tuomi. If Tuomi from Boston, it'd be Tuomi Atherton. Tuomi
I swear we do
Athens.
this every single week, though.
Well, that's because I'm trying to work you into the local culture.
Boosh.
Right below me is our buddy James, the proper Cockney.
Howdy.
From got his own channel, E20's own TV. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. And down in the bottom corner is Phil. What's going on, Phil? How you doing?
Razor Ray Scott Hall just died.
Phil from Chicago. And which part of Chicago are you from?
I'm from the south.
There you go. That's what I was going for. That's what I was going for. South side. I think we're gonna have Peach drop in probably in a little bit. I need to send him the link. I haven't done it yet, but we'll have him, see what he's up to. I've been a little bit behind. I apologize again. Today was a little chaotic. I didn't actually sit down here until right before the show started. So anyway, this week coming up is Colossal Week. Just, the likes of which we've hardly ever seen, probably never seen really, as West Ham fans. I would say in generations, nobody who supports West Ham has seen a week like this. We have Sevilla, of course, on Thursday. Second leg of that match where we're down 1-0, but we're very much still in it. And then we have Spurs away on Sunday, where we'll effectively be playing to try to, I wouldn't say cement, but to try to keep or hang on to a place in the top 6, which is what gets us into Europe next season, obviously, unless we win Europa League, but that's down the line. So a hugely encouraging win, I thought, over Villa. Was that yesterday? Sunday? Yes, Sunday, which seems like about 3 days ago now. But anyway, hugely encouraging win over Villa. But we got some problems, don't we? We're headed into Sevilla without probably Jared Bowen. I think he's out. Antonio may be out. I'm not sure what the status on him is, but I haven't seen any good updates. Cresswell, I'm not sure exactly what his status is either. We're doubtful on a lot of fronts. All right, we could be, starting Ryan Fredericks and Andre Yarmolenko. God bless him, Andre Yarmolenko. We could be starting them on Thursday. So, anyway, let's jump into, if you don't mind, a little Villa recap. And hey to everybody in the chat room, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming back after like 2.5 weeks when we haven't been around, or I haven't been around. Lucas, give us your thoughts on Villa. Confidence builder? How'd you like the performance? Who stood out for you? And how much did you cry when Yarmolenko scored? Because I got to tell you, that was a moment right there.
Yeah, it felt good to get a nice 3 points, not like a scrape by. Well, until the end, of course. It was a little nerving at the end, but I wouldn't say it was scrape by. Yeah.
It wouldn't have been easy. You couldn't make it easy. Yeah.
But yeah, I was buzzing after yesterday. We played well. Surprisingly, when I looked back at the stats, we only had 48% possession, which I wouldn't expect that against Villa. But again, I say every week to myself, to friends, to the people, I hate when we dominate possession. I feel we always do so good when we have like 40% possession. And yeah, it was a good win, a good watch, and could not be more happier for Andre Yarmolenko.
Well, Villa came in, as you all know, they had won 3 on the bounce, as they say. I think they had scored 7, conceded 0 in their last 3 games. And I feared with this match being sandwiched in between Sevilla fixtures that we really would just not be able to almost be competitive in it. And in fact, we turned in one of the better performances of the last 2 or 3 months. So I thought anyway. Scott, what did you think?
So I thought we played well. No, I thought we played well. I thought again, our center backs were huge, and every time I see Fabianski make a save, I want to look at people and go, "You remember you wanted him out. Remember in November you were calling for his head, and this guy, I mean, he will stand on his head for the club, right?" And
yeah, that was a great. People don't talk about that save enough. They don't talk about that save enough. That save in the first half when it was 0-0, when he pushed it just beyond the post, fantastic save, brilliant.
Yeah, no, and Yarmolenko scoring, like, I'll be honest, I bash that guy just about every chance I get. But when he came on, I was just shaking my head, and I was like, well, right now he's going to prove me completely wrong, and I'm going to have to apologize. And I'm going to have to say nice things about him for at least a week. It will be what it will be. But and he did. I mean, he put it in the back of the net.
Yeah. Well, and it was a nice goal too. You know, it wasn't. It was. He showed some skill, I thought.
Yeah.
Tom, your view from the Midlands.
I'm
I'm always going to say it's never going to get old saying that.
No, listen, I don't want to sound harsh, because yes, it was nice to see Yarmolenko score, but I don't think any West Ham fan can sit here and say that they didn't or haven't been screaming for the guy to leave the club for the last 2 years.
No, we all have. We all have. Yeah.
I mean, we all have.
Yeah, listen, it was a nice moment. It showed, you know, that the guy still, there's a reason he scored so many goals for his country. Technically, he's a very good footballer. I still think if he didn't have that Achilles injury in his first season, that he could have done something good for us. It's just a shame because, you know, listen, he could go on a run now. Maybe if Antonio's injured and, you know, he can score a couple of goals, it's fair enough. But ultimately, he's not good enough. But it was a nice moment. It was a nice moment, an emotional moment, obviously, for him, for his family, and for Ukraine and everything else. But yeah, I thought we played okay. It's still, for me, it's just a bit, yeah. There still seems to be just a lack of end product, especially what we've seen at the start of the season and the back end of last year. I know obviously Jesse Lingard isn't here, but I still think there's a level that we can get to. And I think a lot of that is down to Mikel Antonio's lack of impact on the games at the moment. It's just not the same player he was at the start of the season.
Yeah. Well, and who knows, Tom? I mean, do we know when we'll see him again? I haven't seen a definitive update on that.
Yeah, it's just like I said. I thought for how we've been recently, I thought we played well. I thought that we were potentially going to be tired because, you know, even though it was a good game in Sevilla, that would have been tough on the players, not only in the sort of like humid conditions and stuff, but you know, they had to stay focused for a full 90 minutes in that game because Sevilla weren't going to let us off the hook. So I think it was an okay performance. I wasn't disheartened by it. It's a big 3 points, obviously, but I just still think for us that looked like a performance not of a side we've come accustomed maybe to watching. Like I said, I still think it's just a bit something with the final product. And I think a lot of that is down to Antonio's just lack of impact on games at the moment. And I'm just not a big fan of what he is producing at the top of the pitch. Because when he's on fire, I think we're a different animal. I think he terrorizes centre halves when he's on form. And I think it's just night and day when he's not. So hopefully it's not a big enough injury, but yeah, if it is, and obviously Cresswell as well, hopefully that's just a niggle, and Vlasic and everyone else, it's just the end of the season can't come quick enough, and hopefully we can pick some results up on the way. But no, I thought there was, you know, Declan Rice and the defenders, and obviously Fabianski had a great game as well. So yeah, it just...
You said the end of the season.
There's just a level that we can get to.
The end of the season can't come quickly enough. Tom, you make it sound as though we're in a relegation battle.
No, but
it's that bad.
No, but we've got some tough games coming up, and the lack of signings in January now are coming very evident with injuries and players getting tired and stuff like that, and the lack of being able to rotate a proper striker in. You know, it's hopefully we can get out of the season as quickly as we can, but you know, finish as high as we possibly can as well. But I think the Spurs game for us, because Spurs have got 2 games in hand, all of a sudden that is a massive 6-pointer for us. That Spurs game, and you know, if we do lose to Sevilla and we keep it tight like we did the other day, I would have no qualms about it because I actually think we played really well in that first leg. But
we did play.
Yeah, that Spurs game becomes a massive 6-pointer because obviously if we can negate one of their games in hand, and get 5 points ahead of them or 6 points ahead of them, or whatever it is, it'd be 6
points
massive
ahead
for our season.
Yeah.
So
it'd be 6 points ahead, and I believe we still have goal differential on them as well.
Yeah. So that game's huge now. So
yeah, that makes sense. James, been a while since you've been on. What's your opening salvo? Salvatore.
Job done, mate. Job done yesterday. It wasn't vintage. We wasn't mustard, but we got it done in the end. Antonio, I agree with what Tom says. I'm not a fan anymore. Antonio has done that West Ham for me, in my opinion. And
That's
sooner we
signed him to 2 more years, did we not?
Yeah, I know, but the problem is, mate, if you want to go into the top six,
Winston Reed comes to mind. Yeah,
and you want to be a top 6 contender, you have to sign top 6 players. Antonio is not that, in my opinion. He's just not cutting it. He's just not cutting it. And Yarmolenko, for how much we slate the man, that's a striker's finish on Sunday. Right, that was a turn shot, finish, goal. Antonio doesn't do it. Yeah, I agree with what Tom was saying, really. I think we was good in spells. Like Villa come into it. I think Villa score first. I think it's a different game. But we got the win. And what impressed me more than anything is we won, considering we played Thursday night away from home.
Absolutely.
And we managed to get the win there.
Yep.
But Mr. David Moyes, the Messiah, isn't the Messiah at the minute, in my opinion, because now these injuries are starting to mount up. And as fans, we all knew that we needed signings in January, and eventually Antonio will go down, Cresswell will go down, and other players will go down. And it's starting to happen now. And if this season goes, if we do not get European football, that is all on Moyes, in my opinion. And as Tom said, and I make Tom 100% right also, Sunday's game is massive. We beat Spurs, we go 6 points clear. For me, that will be a nice cushion. Like we can afford to draw a game or lose a game. So roll on Thursday first. But for me, the Spurs game is massive. It really is.
Because we've already, if you think about it, we've already opened up a nice near on 10-point gap over Villa. So realistically, the only teams that possibly could still get into it is from Wolves up. So it's Wolves, Spurs, us, United and Arsenal that are vying for those European
And we don't leave
spots.
London for a while.
Yes, which is again
a while.
big.
That's big. Phil, give us your thoughts.
We got the 3 points. That's all that really mattered. At this point, it's not about getting style points. It's about getting actual points. So it was good to get the result. Of course, Yarmolenko scoring, very emotional. It was a good thing to see. But again, like everyone else has been saying, the injuries have come to get us. We got the 3 points, but potentially at what cost down the line. With Antonio, I understand people's frustration. I do, because he hasn't been the same player that we were accustomed to seeing. But part of it is, it's knowing that he has to be in the lineup every single match at this point, because you can't really trust anyone else up top. For all we talk about the Yarmolenko goal, it was when was his last goal outside of that?
Just two years ago against Villa off the bench. Yeah.
So it's really coming down to the fact that he'll play, but he hasn't been at his best. But guess what? It won't matter because we have to keep putting him in, sticking him in the lineup. Because he's our only true out-and-out striker. We don't trust anyone from the academy.
Right. We're not going to see Sonny Perkins or Oko Flex, I don't think, anytime soon.
So
Moyes doesn't do that. And maybe they're not ready,
And they might not be, but we won't know at this point.
We won't know.
Well, you're not going to give him a chance. If you're not going to give him a chance.
With the stakes on the line, he won't do it. With what's up for grabs, he won't do it.
But, we're in a situation now, we really might be looking at Antonio and Cresswell and Bowen all out for Thursday and possibly even Sunday. And you have to ask yourself the question. Yarmolenko, we have talked about him at pretty great length. We've all discussed how we don't want to save at West Ham anymore. And, of course, we kind of put a stop to that with the whole situation in Ukraine, which I thought was appropriate that we put a stop to that. But as a player, he hasn't been very good for a long time. However, I thought when he came on yesterday, he scored. He looked good. He looked the best he's looked in a long time.
He looked up for it, Lee.
He looked up for it. That's exactly, James. Yeah.
He looked up for it. And this is where the Antonio debate, like whether you're a fan or not. Yeah. Yarmolenko comes on. We can't stand this man. We don't want him at our club. We said he ain't good enough. He wasn't good enough 18 months ago. He isn't good enough 2 months ago. Right. But he comes on and he looks up for it. And Antonio walks around, strolls about, and he hasn't been the same, Antonio, since he signed a new deal. And I'm 100%. I'm 100% adamant on that. Yeah. And this is why I've been crying out for Ivan Toney from Brentford for a long time, because I know that kid is a talented footballer. I know he scores goals. I know he's built like Antonio, and I know he's made for West Ham United Football Club. Yeah. The problem is with Antonio and with Yarmolenko is now we have got to sit there and hope that Yarmolenko turns up every game, not just one game. And that is a problem.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. And, let me just say that I will always love Antonio for what he's done for us over the years. He'll always be one of my favorite players. At the moment, he's not one of my favorite players. All right. Because as you said, he hasn't performed recently. He's clearly tired. We didn't give him any backup. He has seemed, it's not that I question his effort, but I do think that players get comfortable when they sign deals. I think we saw it with Craig Dawson last season. Now he's come back and performed well here recently. When he still became permanent last season, he had a dip in form. I think we've seen this with a lot of players over the years.
But do you know what, though, Lee? Sorry to cut in, right? But sorry to cut in there, yeah. But do you know when people keep saying he's tired? He's tired. I keep hearing these words. He's tired. He's tired. He doesn't really play a lot of Europa League games. He hasn't played a lot of Europa League games this season. He's played, 2, I think?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. 2 or 3. He didn't play in the FA Cup against Kidderminster, right, because he was away playing for Jamaica. So
there's a reason for that, though. I'll give you the scientific reason for that is he has a lot of muscle mass, which means that he has a lot of lactic acid build up, which means that players that have a lot more muscle mass will get tired quicker. It's the same with like Anthony Joshua in boxing. He gets knackered after a few rounds because of the amount of muscle mass that he's got. And it's the same, I think, with Antonio. It's not that he plays loads of minutes. He plays as much as any regular Premier League footballer would, but I think it's the way that he's built is a lot of lactic acid build up, and that's why he gets tired quickly in games. He's not built for 90 minutes like that. He's almost built like, a boxer or something like that.
But when you got your striker,
I'm 100% agree. It's not good enough, but that's he's put more muscle mass on because he wants to be strong and bulky and everything else. But unfortunately, it has a downside, which is you will get tired a lot quicker if you do that.
Ultimately, I think this is the problem I think it's a sin we as fans, we ultimately are also responsible. We talked him up to be this level of striker that he never was. He was a good striker. I almost compare him I look at him, and maybe I'm wrong, and let me know if I'm crazy or if I'm drunk. I might be.
This is going to be good.
Arnautovic, remember when everyone started talking him up to be a Champions League level striker?
Mm-hmm.
I look at him and Antonio in that same ref. They played great for us for what they had to do, but were they really that great? Did we really overvalue him because it was?
I think Arnautovic had more of an overall impact on the game because he actually had some skills other than just basically smashing people to the floor. He could cut inside, he could beat a man, he could take the ball 20
or a boulder touch past a defender and track.
Yeah, he just had a bit more composure and skill about him, and he brought others into the game. And I know Antonio does that. His hold up play has been so much better this season, but I feel like over 90 minutes Arnautovic would eventually find a way to impact the game even when he was playing badly.
Antonio's a bit one-dimensional.
Yeah, the problem is
that's what I mean. Yeah,
like the problem is with Antonio. If you had another striker at the club, would you have Antonio starting? And the answer to that,
not right now. Not right now. No
striker you brought in.
Well, actually, that's a really good point, Phil. Because I mean,
like, wasn't the whole thing? I'm sorry.
No,
Wasn't
go
the
ahead,
whole
go ahead.
thing during January that we weren't looking at a striker that was better than him? We weren't really looking for a striker that was better than him.
We wanted to bring in someone better than him, which we could.
Yeah, but
there
is better than him, mate.
We looking for anyone better than him.
As Roy May just said there, I swear to God, if you pulled every heat map up for the entire season, a large portion of that stuff his positioning would be out on either left side or the right hand side. The other day again, and I say, I sat watching in here, or the Sevilla game the other night. There was a chance late on, and he was the one that had crossed it into the box, and there was nobody in the middle. It's like, what are you doing? That's your position. And again, like they say, everyone says, obviously he's not a natural born striker. He constantly drifts over to one side. It's just it is a big responsibility taking the number 9 shirt, but sometimes he has to understand that he has to play that central role. He has to be the focal point through the middle constantly. He drifts far too much. And listen, the guy's played everywhere in his career for us, it seems like. I don't necessarily blame him, because he's basically a square peg once again in a round hole, because he's not a born striker. So whereas I do appreciate everything and the goals he scored for us, obviously record Premier League goal scorer, fantastic, all that sort of stuff. There is a part of me that feels sorry for him, because, he has had to play in positions that maybe not naturally to him. But at the start of the season, where I don't feel sorry for him is he wanted the number 9 shirt because he thought he was good enough to do it.
But then you've got to blame Moyes there, though, mate.
No, that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, you have to be the number 9. We don't need you to be anything else. But I think I'll quickly bring it back to Yarmolenko. It's mad I'm about to say this. Peach made an excellent point. The more I sat thinking about it, right, and listened to him, sometimes when Peach goes on his rambles and everyone just sort of thinks, God, Peach, what are you talking about now? He's just being Peach. When
he knows his football, though. He knows his football. He does. He does. But I know what you mean. You got to pick out
on his West Ham random streams when he's talking when he's talking very much random shit.
Right.
He said Yarmolenko, whenever he goes to play for Ukraine, he always gives 110%. He always, he scores. He does this, does that, does this. Obviously, when he comes back to us, it's not as good. But whereas now is, as everybody said, he looked up for it. It's because it's almost like he's playing for Ukraine when he's playing for us. And I'm not saying over 90 minutes that he can do that, but I think now for us, it's probably, hopefully, over the last 10 games, we can rely on him a little bit more because he's got that chip on his shoulder because he wants
shouldn't have to, though, Tom.
No, unfortunately, that's the world that we find ourselves in as well.
But the question is, can he do it?
He should have been that from the get-go to give 110%.
Yeah, of course.
That's what you have to do when you wear the badge. That should be your obligation to give all you can.
You would think.
Right,
well, that's what we ask as West Ham fans, and I think famously we ask for full effort, and even if you're not the best player, put out the best effort, put out the most effort, and we'll appreciate that. And I think you see that
it did make me laugh that, and maybe a little bit of broken English. I don't know how well he knows it, obviously, but in his interview afterwards, he's like, "Oh, now I understand what it means." With West Ham fans and love. It's like, mate, you've been here fucking nearly 4 years. Like,
I was going to say, how long has he been here?
And you could tell he put in his full effort towards the end when he nearly broke his face jumping up for a header. Yes. I've never seen that in my life at West Ham.
The thing is, right, with Yarmolenko, he gets a lot of stick because of the amount of money he's on. Let's have it right. He's one of the highest earners at the club. And that's the reason why he gets a lot of the stick. If Yarmolenko's on 50 grand a week, I don't think anyone would mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So we've got to know where we're at.
But the question is, if Antonio is out for a while, right? Can Yarmolenko come in and give us 3, 4, 5 performances that are at the level where he needs to give them to us? You know what I mean?
No.
Game's gone past him now.
You
5 years ago before that Achilles injury, I think 100% he could have done that, but he's just too slow now. And to be honest, again, he lost a step when he was at Dortmund because, again, he had an amazing start to his Dortmund career. Because I remember at the time when he went to Dortmund and he was scoring in the Champions League and he had a massive injury when he was over there, didn't play for ages, came here, had another major injury and whatnot. And there are glimpses of that, but he cannot. He's not quick enough.
The only way I can see it is
in a Premier League match.
Is if we're going up against the same play style, like with Sevilla. like, God forbid, say he does have to start because Antonio might not play, I think that game could suit him a bit because it'll be super slow. It's not going to be very counterattacking, and he could take a few chances. But to ask him to put in a performance like last match, when we potentially have, 10 matches left in the Premier League, and then potentially, let's say,
9.
4 more in Europa, whatever it is, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, so let me ask you this. Let's say.
Mark, I respect your opinions in the chat, mate, but don't even get me fucking started on Souček. We can
get started on Souček in a little bit. We can come back to
atrocious this season.
So
tell you
let's
what.
say.
Let's talk about Ben Rama. Come on.
Okay, you know what? We can't. No. Here.
Yeah, let's talk about Ben Rama, mate, because everyone thinks he's shit, and he gets to assist the weekend. What's all that about?
Let's get to it, James. How do you set up? Let's say there's no Bowen and no Antonio on Thursday. Okay, let's start with Thursday. We'll get to Sunday later. Let's start with Sevilla. There's no Bowen, there's no Antonio. How do you set up front? I mean, is Yarmolenko your lone striker? Are you? I don't know if Vlasic's going to be available.
You shut the TV off and you pray.
I mean, yeah. That's what we end up doing anyway. But I mean, so what's your setup up front? Without if you're looking at no Bowen, no Antonio, and potentially Vlasic seems not to be totally healthy either. What do you do?
We need Vlasic back, mate. That's the thing.
Like, well, I know, but I'm just saying, what if he's not there? Because that's
if he's not there,
well.
and we're on the bare minimum, we can't even play Oko Flex because he's out. You know, like he can't play in Europe, so we've got a major problem. Like it's gonna have to change. You're gonna have to change the system, or go 4-3-3, or push Souček further forward. So it's like an advancing sort of like striker, so to speak. Yeah. He's gonna have to do something. He's gonna have to change it around because. But this is where it irritates me, Lee, and I'll say this quite openly. This is why it really fucks me off with Moyes, because Moyes has allowed this to happen in our best moment, and we've signed no one. Do you know what I mean? And that's where it grinds at me big time.
I'll tell you, it's really a struggle for me because I do feel as though Moyes deserves an enormous amount of credit for getting us where we are and actually keeping us where we are. And I do think he's maybe the best possible manager we could get to work with these owners. On the other hand, I can't really defend him anymore for January. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. I can't. Whatever responsibility he bore, and maybe it was 20%, 50%, 90%. I don't know what it was. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And I mean, I don't know how much support he really got. You never know with the board, whether they're lying, whether he's lying for them. I don't know, but man, it's frustrating because this is a guy I wanted Moyes to kind of be another, I'll say another John Lyle type manager, who can take us through 10 years of solid performances and contending for Europe. But he can't do it. If he's going to have 12, 13 guys in the squad for the last half of the season. It's just not. Everybody knew this happen, and now it's happening. You know what I mean? Everybody know it's happening, and that's my real frustration with him. Don't want to see him sacked. Like, I'm absolutely 100% sure we sack Moyes. Don't tell anybody will find somebody worse. I promise you, they'll find somebody worse. That's the problem. And they'll find somebody cheaper and washed up. They'll bring in another Pellegrini who doesn't even want to be here. But I want Moyes to do better, and he's not doing better. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
We're going to end up sacking Moyes and then signing Sean Dyche and calling it a day. That'll be a step up.
Can I just laugh quickly at Roy May's comment when he said, "Put Diop up top. You've got to be good on the pitch." So, do you remember when they said that Diop could play as striker?
Yes.
Was it last season they spoke and joke, like they said that he was actually in training to potentially be
absolutely
a
was.
backup striker because he was that in his youth career. Like, fuck me.
It's
I think
embarrassing.
it was.
State of the club.
Let's be honest here, gentlemen, right? Let's be honest here right now. It is fucking embarrassing that we are putting square pegs in round holes and we have not got players at this club. Do you know what I mean? There's no two ways about it. We're saying about Issa Diop, who everyone criticises in defence, and then we're going to think about putting him up front. How embarrassing is that? But then saying that, and he scores the winner. No one to care.
It's weird, James, because on one hand, you do have to assign at least some blame to Moyes for not strengthening in January. I agree. I mean, I've always said that, and I'm starting to become more and more frustrated with him as time goes by. On the other hand, there's no way we get here without him. I mean, I don't think any other manager gets us where we are. So,
but would you not agree? But would you not agree? And I've asked everyone this. In your best moment, we're flying high in the league. We're fourth in the league. We're in the FA Cup, and to sign no one and walk away with absolutely no one. To now look at it and go, no Bowen, no Antonio, no Cresswell, like that's three of our starting players out. That surely must tell you a lot, 100%. Must do.
I'll tell you why it frustrates me, because yes, it does tell me a lot. It's irresponsible. It was poor decision making. I agree with you completely. The problem is, as always, I don't know that we're capable as a club right now of going out and finding somebody better. And everybody else we brought in,
easily, because it's not spoken about enough. The fact that flipping, as my coffee is getting delivered, you may just see a hand come across.
Okay. You got her trained already, do you?
Thank you.
She gave it to you
it's not
scalding
spoken
hot.
about enough that Ivan Toney has already overtaken Antonio's Premier League goals, and he's on like 11, 12 goals this season already in his first year in the Prem. You got a penalty taker in there as well, which is what we need. Fuck me.
I'm not arguing. I agree.
Do you trust this board to get it done?
The thing is, like, look at the managers that this ownership has brought in. They've all, with the exception of Sam Allardyce, who was mediocre, they've basically all been awful. And I'm sorry, I throw Slaven Bilic in there too, because without Payet, everything fell apart. All right, it did. Pellegrini had no desire to be here. Avram Grant brought us down.
Don't say that name.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Allardyce did what he was supposed to do. He got us back up, and then he got us into mid-table, and then he quit, because that's all his job is: get us to mid-table, and he's done. Right? You remember the season when we were like something like 4th or 5th in January, and I think we won one game the rest of the season under Allardyce, because he was like, okay, well, I've done my job.
He got a bit scared. He got a bit scared being in those heavy heights.
Well, you're safe.
Not since the days of Bolton when they nearly signed Lewandowski did he been that high up the table.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, Lee, with what you're saying about other managers, you are right. But David Moyes is in his best moment for West Ham. Right? West Ham are going up against a Manchester United team that has no manager, an Arsenal team that was in transition, a Spurs team that is just Spurs, and a Chelsea team that looks like they could go bankrupt. Now, for me,
Chelsea administration.
But wait a minute, Chelsea now have another Saudi operation bidding for them, bidding $2 billion plus for them. Another Saudi operation, so more Saudis, and they beheaded 81 people the other day. In one day in Saudi Arabia, they beheaded 81 people, and I'm telling you that those people were not all, what we would consider criminals. I guarantee you, some of them just said something that the prince didn't like, and they're, it's off with their head, because that's what they do. So anyway, that's an editorial comment.
It'll be the best thing for Chelsea in the Premier League if that goes to Nick Candy. I mean, the guy's been a season ticket holder since he was like young. That's kind of what we need. Not another fucking American. Sorry, guys, but an American or Saudi taking over.
Dude.
I mean, I'm
well, actually, no, because if the Jets owner goes and takes over, then
that's the best possible scenario. Woody Johnson takes over Chelsea. That would be like a dream come true.
As much
I don't think you understand.
Every
American football fan, period, read that.
Woody Johnson.
Please,
I mean, I'm only saying that as much as yes, a lot of Chelsea's history has come in the last 19 years under.
Could we get a confirmation on this, by the way? Could we get a confirmation on this, Tom?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
If Chelsea have a very storied history, like some of their, they're an old football club. I wouldn't want to see them. I wouldn't want to see them go the way of Saudi, or almost like in terms of. I know this is going to sound just awful, and we all laughed at me having a Chelsea shirt the other week. But like in terms of, I don't want that for the Premier League. Almost to them just become another. They already have that, I know, but I don't. I feel like the Saudi. I don't want the Saudi people anywhere near the Premier League because I think it's complete double standards. I don't want Russian oligarchs, Tom.
I don't want Russian oligarchs near the Premier League.
No, there's certain types that I don't want near it.
And I would tell you something else.
I want a striker at West Ham.
It would be the same. It would be the same if it would be the same for me. Is if when we're up for sale, if an American owner who also happens to own a football team in America comes and says,
"The Roonies,
because we all know
West
that
Ham,
the profits
please."
from that, it's exactly like Stan Kroenke funded the entire fucking defense for the Super Bowl winning Rams off Arsenal.
The difference is with that, though, Tom. The difference is with that. There's a bit of a difference. Is with GSB, they took us out of our own, whereas these new owners wouldn't. They would be going into a place.
By the way, I would take the Roonies. Lucas is right. I would take the Roonies.
Bring them in.
They're model owners. They really are. But I mean, well, yeah, Rebecca. Ethically, of course it is. I mean, we're finally after all these years, the British government is.
We should have a lecture on ethics.
Well, no, listen.
It's
very simple. The British government is booting Abramovich out of Britain because he directly supported a murderous dictator for years, and now it's spilled over into an actual war that we can all see. We all see the tragedy of it. It's all clear to us now. But the Saudis have been rampant human rights abusers for decades, and they continue to be. And yet we just welcome them in at the Premier League.
Listen,
not us.
Listen. If we're going to start there, Lee, why stop? I mean, it's not like we've got a World Cup being hosted in Qatar. It's not like there was races hosted in. It's not like there's races that were hosted for the first time ever in F1 in Jeddah and Saudi Arabia, and also in Qatar this year. Fuck me, it's
all those things. I'm with you all together. The problem is the leaders of these nations, right? It's not the people, it's the leaders. It's the things that they do. But what's really funny about Abramovich is if you're a Chelsea fan and you were a Chelsea fan before 2003, I do feel sorry for those fans a little bit. Okay, they didn't choose Abramovich. They celebrated the success, which I think was ill-gotten. But I do find it funny.
I do find that funny. I don't feel sorry for the fans because the fans literally
I don't feel sorry for the
post-2003 fans on the planet. But
I don't feel sorry for the post-2003 fans, first of all. And secondly, I don't feel sorry for the fans who chanted Roman Abramovich's name during a minute of silence for Ukraine, I should say.
And that's the same Chelsea fans that kicked the black person off the train.
Kicked the black person off the train.
League,
I don't feel sorry for any of them. But it's funny how, I got into a big argument on Twitter with somebody today, and it's a guy I really respect, a really good guy, like his fellow American. And, he said something about everybody loves this Tuchel guy, the Chelsea manager. Oh, he's handling the situation so well. He's handling it so gracefully. Oh, he's wonderful. He's great. You know what? That guy knew who he was going to work for. Okay. Even before war in Ukraine, he knew he was going to work directly for a Russian oligarch who directly supported a dictator who murdered people. He knew who his boss was. All right. This is not a situation where I go to work and it turns out that the private equity firm, by the way, this is not true. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, the private equity firm that owns my company has shares in Saudi Aramco. It's not like that. All right. It's not like that. This is a guy who bought a football club to sports wash. Okay. While directly financially supporting and also like strategically supporting a murderous dictator. You sign, I don't care if you're a player or a manager, you sign that contract with Chelsea, you know who your boss is. You know who it is.
Okay. Well,
and they knew a year ago and they know now.
I feel like we're getting very removed from West Ham at the moment.
Well, we are, but I was mad about this all day. I was mad about this all day and I had to rant about it.
Just in a general sense. So, but what are you going to tell the average player? if you're getting offered, say, 150 pounds a week, 150,000 pounds per week, you're gonna tell them, oh yeah, turn it down. No, they're not gonna
You know
turn it
what? They
down
could,
to
but
play
here's the
for a
thing, though.
top club.
Here's the difference. Here's one thing I'll say. Most of them
Right.
can get it somewhere else. They could get it from Real Madrid. They get it from Manchester City, which is not much better, by the way. Well, sure. If I could, if I had a choice, if I'm saying if the salary were similar, if the level of competitiveness were similar, I would.
Let's get back
try.
to let's get
Yes,
let's
I
get
would
back
try
to
to
get back to
go.
West Ham,
Yes.
but
Let's get back to Ben Rama. Come on, let's all
right.
talk
Yeah,
Eddie
Ben
boy.
Rama. Ben Rama had a
to,
great game.
I had to bring that up because I had to bring that up because I was angry about it, and because now I read that there's another Saudi interested in buying Chelsea, and it just makes me think, I've always told you that I've hated Chelsea the most, and that's a little look into why. But what are we going to do? Again, I mean, have we answered this question? I know Antonio's not confirmed to be out. We do know that he is. He pulled up lame against Aston Villa. We know he's not in form anyway. So what do we do? Do you start? Yarmolenko up top on Thursday?
I mean, if it depends on the level of injury. If it's really that bad to where you have to make a choice of him playing one of two games, then you save him for Spurs on Sunday.
Can I be controversial?
Yeah.
No.
And
are you going to say start the youth striker?
No, you have to rant about Chelsea first.
I know I'm about to really upset James with what I'm about to say. I appreciated Ben Rama more.
Oh, he's going to talk about Ben Rama.
When he came on as a
he's not ready. Okay.
When he came on as a sub against Sevilla, because I thought his impact was far greater in that game when we were chasing a goal, and it was night and day for me when he looked to take it to them. I feel like at the moment when he plays, yes, he has moments of brilliance. Fair enough. The second goal was all Declan Rice for me. It was an easy pass. Yes, assist counts. It's good. To assist is good, but overall he had a poor game at the weekend because he just drifted. He had a really good start to the game, and then he drifted up until he got both his assists.
But the problem is, I understand what you're saying.
But with the injuries, I think that the hand will be forced and he will have to start potentially.
And he will prove it, 100%. Like I've always said from minute one, or since I backed this kid from Brentford, from minute one when he walked in the door. The problem is with Syed Ben Rama is he can't do no right. He gets 2 assists the weekend. People still criticising him, saying, "Oh, it weren't good enough." Listen, I can openly say, and I like Ben Rama. Right, and people know this.
Like him, you fucking love him.
Listen, mate. At the end of the day, right, I've seen some shit at West Ham. I've had to put up with Benny McCarthy up front. And listen, at the end of the day, Syed Ben Rama isn't a bad footballer, in my opinion. Right, he's not for everyone, but he's not as bad as how much he gets criticised. Right now, for me, when you've got a player who we are relying on to get assists for us, and he does get assists, and no one really gives him any credit. I think to myself, hold on a minute, what's he got to do? Has he got to do? Because there's games this season where Pablo Fornals has been bang average, and he's done not a lot, but everyone just raves about him because he sings bubbles to his kid. Now you've got to get it into context. Listen, he weren't great Sunday, and I openly say that. I think he was good for 10 minutes, and then he drifted out, and then when Antonio got injured, he sort of come back into it. Yeah, listen, the pass into Yarmolenko, yeah, it might have been hit, but it was a forward pass. You got to say that. And the other pass to Fornals, I think don't get a lot of respect really. I think if he overhits the pass, Fornals doesn't. He's all over the place with his feet. If it's under it, he's chasing it. So I think the pass is bang on. So I don't understand what he's got to do. But people will say about Flassage, which I disagree with 100%.
You know what it is, James? It's the appeal of the new, right? Ben Rama's been around long enough that we're always looking for the next shiny object to stare at, and right now that's Vlasic, I think. I mean, we have a lot of inconsistent players, don't we? I think we do. I mean, there's
Many.
no. The only player I look at every single week and think I can rely on this guy to perform is Declan Rice. He's really the only one. Maybe Zuma, but I
Yeah.
mean, right? Maybe Zuma, especially now that he's past Catgate and all that stuff.
He'll
But
never be past that.
well, I mean, it'll fade.
There's
is what I'm
less and less
saying.
booze that the weeks go on. What I would say is I think we as fans have been waiting since Dimitri Payet was at the club. We have not had anybody, and we have looked for that replacement that can quite literally grab the game by the scruff of the bollocks and turn it on its head, because that's what he could do.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think there
Phil,
are some similarities in Payet's game to that of Ben Rama's, in as much as I believe he can take and beat a man. But I think from that position specifically that he's playing, and let's not forget, he's not actually a wide player. He is a central, in behind the striker player. He's not in that position. But I almost think that us as fans have looked and tried to compare, because we've been looking for that player that can take that Payet role. We tried it with Anderson, it didn't work. We've tried it since with Lanzini. Fornals has played down there. We haven't actually got someone that can actually take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I think,
is that our fault though, Tom, as fans?
Well, we did with Jesse Lingard, arguably.
Is that our fault as fans? Because you've got Dimitri Payet. You mentioned Dimitri Payet there. Dimitri Payet had a world-class season with West Ham. He was world-class.
He still is. His statistics do not lie. He still is world-class.
Well, he still is. Now, we signed Dimitri Payet from Marseille in his best moment, and he had one of the best seasons at the bowling that I could ever remember. Yeah. We signed Saïd Benrahma from Championship Brentford. He come in, he was in and out of the season because Jesse Lingard was like prime Messi. And this season, he's done okay. But you can't put all the blame on one man.
Oh no, God, no! I'm not putting. Like, I'm not for 1 second. Am I doing that?
And then give others a pass. This is where the Vlasic and Benrahma debate comes into play. Because when I look at Vlasic, I look at a Champions League player. I look at a player who plays internationally for Croatia, starter for Croatia. He's young. He's been in the Premier League before. He should be starting in games regularly, but he's nowhere near it. And that just
he should be ahead of what Antonio's doing. Again, I still would love to see Vlasic as a false nine. It's similar to what we did with Lingard, because there were games last season where Lingard didn't play or Antonio didn't play as a striker, and we played Lingard as a false nine when Antonio was injured. And I still think Vlasic can do that. It's just for some reason David Moyes doesn't believe he can do that. So, but I don't think that's necessarily Vlasic, because I've said the same thing for Crowell. Like, these guys obviously are international footballers for a reason. They play regularly for their country. Why David Moyes doesn't want to start them, I don't understand. But
because David Moyes is a stubborn bastard, mate. That's why we all know.
He has players he trusts, and he sticks with those players.
I think for me, what I was saying,
he also has players that he doesn't necessarily fancy. Not his players.
Also, what I'd say, I think as well,
big issue.
I think Benrahma will always get stick, because at the end of the day, we spent 17 million on Payet, was it? Or 12 million on Payet?
I think 12 million.
That's 12 million. We spent 25 on Benrahma, and we spent 45 on Anderson. And I think no matter who comes in and how much money they spend, the more money you spend, you think, well, hang on a minute, why have I paid 25 million for you and I'm not getting that level of consistency where you can change your game for me for the price I paid for you? And I think we saw that with Anderson in that first 6-month spell that he had with us. There's a reason Real Madrid were interested in him. Because
I know. I understand what you're saying, Tom. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. But this man is always scapegoated massively. And I've never.
He's not the only one. He is, but Antonio gets a lot of that too.
I don't think Antonio's got as much as what he should have got, and he's going off of the fact that he's our top scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah, but Antonio, as Phil said to me, right? Basically, Antonio, we wave Antonio up to be something he really ain't. Antonio, we make out that Antonio's a world-class striker. Right? I'm sorry, but he ain't a world-class striker.
He's not even a striker.
He's not even a striker.
Not really. Yeah, not
He's a
really.
winger. We converted to a striker, and it just worked out for a little bit.
Just like
I forget he was a back as well.
Yeah,
Hell, he was
And
He was the right back. Yes, that's right. He was the right back for a while. Yes.
so you've got to look. You've got to weigh this up. When you look at Benny gets a lot of stick. Right. Sometimes I agree with it, but this man's been subbed 19 times this season. He hasn't been shit 19 times to be subbed. I know that for fact. Like there's been games this season, Brighton at home, where he was decent, and he gets subbed, and people were going, "Well, why is he getting subbed for?" And then Southampton, he scores a goal, gets subbed again. Even yesterday.
I still think for me that the fact that yesterday he did get subbed after the 2 assists, I think yesterday for me is literally down to his defensive work rate. That's the only thing, because obviously he prefers other players' defensive work rate. Even in their attacking phase of the game, they still work defensively as well. And I think that was evident as to why that substitution happened yesterday, because obviously we know Fornals, etc., work very hard defensively as well as going forward as well. Yeah. So I understand in those reasons why he would sub Benrahma off. But yes, there has been times where obviously he has been pulled way earlier than he probably should have done. But I think we keep going back to the same thing with him he just seems to drift sometimes in games, and he will have flashes. I know Duke just said it there in the chat. Flashes of brilliance, insane bits of skill, beating players. That goal early in the season against Genk or Rapid Vienna or wherever it was, incredible. That's what you get from a player like that when he's on song. I just think that for that,
but then
like
you've
I said,
also got to look
that we pay for him. I just think it's the drifting in games. But look, I'm not scapegoating him because I think there's other people that deserve the blame.
But you've got to look at Moyes on that, though, Tom, ain't you? Yeah. You've got to look at the way Moyes has handled him also. Like, listen, at the end of the day, right, Antonio's been poor in games this season. He's played every game. And look at him now, he's injured. Now, if he would have been hooked a few times and maybe put other players on, he might not be injured right now. But he is, because Moyes deep down has his favourites. And we all know it. Like he's got his favouritism there at West Ham. And it proved it the other week when I was watching it. I was like, you all know this is favouritism here.
But we can't hook him early if we don't have anyone to replace him with.
But then it's down to Moyes again, though, isn't it? So it goes back to
so much
January.
Fo, can I just quickly say, Fo, good evening, sir. I hope you're doing well. Lovely to see you. It's not so much I'm a hater. I know. See the voice. I know it fucking looks like. Oh my god, a child! I can't swear.
There she is. There she is. It's Embry. Hey, bring her back. 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 Come on now.
No, because then I can't say the F word.
Oh, she's like
she can't hear the F word. It's in my ear.
Oh, okay.
Hey, can you give us? Can you give us one of these?
She does this.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She does.
That's pretty good. How old? Scott? How old is she now?
15 months.
15 months. See, Tom, you can cuss all you want for a 15-month-old.
That's
awesome.
It's not so much being the hater. It's just, and I've had these debates with James well back into last summer. For me,
you don't rate him.
No, it's not. I don't. I think he's an insane footballer with insane technical ability. I always seem to, and I think a lot of the fans are the same. Is we seem to notice it more when he does go missing in certain games, and he just does drift from it, because there are some games I think, oh shit, yeah, Benrahma was playing. I didn't remember that. You know, it's like the other day was a prime example. Those first 10 minutes, he looked to attack. He cut inside. He had 2 shots that he got away. One was on target, maybe one was off target. I think, brilliant, right? He's up for it today. And then I thought, I haven't seen him now for the next sort of 30 minutes. And then, oh shit, he got the assist. Playing. And that's for me. I don't necessarily, with the other players like Fornals, etc., they'll make that defensive effort as well, and you notice that they're playing. Sometimes with Benrahma, he drifts for me, and that's the biggest issue for me is the drifting in games. And it's the same with Antonio. Antonio drifts all the time. I think
that Antonio gets a pass on a lot of games because he's
it's the same. It's the same for Souček. I think Souček has drifted far too many times as well this season during games. He has not been 100% switched on this season.
But who do we put that down to? That's your training, right? That's how you train. That's your coach. How your manager gets you up for a match. It's, you know, when I was coaching, you know who's ready to play and who's not. And if a guy's not good, if you don't think he's going to be able to play, you don't play him. Now, Moyes doesn't have a whole lot of options, does he? Like, he's got maybe 14 total guys. So, you know, Guys are going to sleep on the pitch,
Not for
and they
me.
know there's nobody there pushing them.
That's a stretch, novelist.
So if you are in Moyes' shoes and you have
I'm just the
decision to-
messenger. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah, but
You
let's
have
be
to-
honest here. I just want to ask this question. Okay, I keep seeing this word come up: consistency. Name me
What's
other players
consistent
in
at this point?
name me other players in the West Ham team who's consistent. Because Antonio's
Right.
consistently shit.
I
Do
mean,
you know what I mean?
Rice, Zuma,
Recently, Declan
Fabian.
Rice,
outside of Zuma
Declan Rice,
and
and Kurt
Rice,
Zuma.
who else would you say?
Cresswell,
got-
to be
Kurt
fair,
Zuma.
Cresswell,
actually
maybe.
been.
So you got Declan Rice who's world class.
I like
I'd say-
Cresswell, but not lately.
I'd say
Bowen.
consistently this season would be Bowen, it would be Rice, it would be Zuma, it would probably be Cresswell, it would probably actually, I know I say it would actually be Dawson. I think he's actually had a very good last month and a half, even like this season. I think he's actually been a lot better consistently over the season, and probably
He hasn't
Fabianski.
played consistently this season, has he, though, Tom?
That's the only
No,
That's
but
the
after,
difference.
since Ogbonna went down, I think he's had probably most weeks a 7 out of 10 performance for me from him. Like
Well,
I'd
even,
say-
Dawson
I'd say I
was
agree on that,
consistently-
yeah.
There's one.
He's consistently
So
fine. He's not a great player to begin with, but he's consistently good. He's just got a ceiling, Dawson. Do you know what I mean? He's a £5 million center back, so he does a good job.
That's great. That's being gracious.
That's which is fine. No. What I'm saying is he's good. He's consistently good, but he's not going to ever be consistently great because he's not a great player. Do you know what I mean?
But-
He's redlining
But
it
you've
where
just
he
said
is.
there, within players. But Pablo Fornals isn't consistent, doesn't do it all the time. Like the other day in Seville, he was poor, and people still go at Ben Rama. Now there has to listen. You can criticise a player. Listen, don't get me wrong, right? And I'm not one of these fans like other people who sit there and like smoke a fag while they're on a live stream, telling everyone how great other players are. Right? If Ben Rama's shit, I say Ben Rama's shit. Yeah, and this is exactly that. But the difference is you have to be constructive with your criticism. And if Ben Rama does something bad and another player does something bad, you have to criticize them. They're both the same. Not because one sings bubbles to his kid.
Right.
And
I mean, I get
do you
it.
get what I'm saying?
I get it. But okay, I'm starting to be with Ken on this. Let's because we're not really going to resolve anything around Ben Rama specifically. So let's talk about let's try to get back to Sevilla. And I know I'm the one who ranted about Chelsea, so I'm sorry.
can I give you some injury news for you? Lee?
Oh
So
Lord, I guess. Go ahead.
you could not for us, for Sevilla.
Oh
So-
yeah, please. Yes, go, please.
Diego Carlos.
It looks like Acuna will be out of the second leg at left back, which means that Augustinson will have to come in for them, which is a very good thing because a lot of their success came down, especially in the first half, was down that left-hand side, and very much an absolute tank and a unit of a left back who wasn't even a left back by trade, by the way. When he was in Portugal as a centre mid, he's built like one, which is good news for us, I guess. Unfortunately, then if Bowen's not playing, how much success we can have down that right hand side, depending on who plays there, is another matter. But yeah, that's one bit of good injury news.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear. I mean,
who's your starting midfield against for Sevilla? Then let's just, if we're gonna get into Sevilla, what's your starting midfield? Do you go with a 3-man? Do you go with the double pivot? Like how do you go about it? All things considered.
I mean, listen, Phil. I think the bigger question is, how do we do this? Period. I mean,
well, I know that. I just want to break it down because,
but the thing is, that Moyes is always going to go with the same formation, right? I mean, has he ever? It's okay. The only change he makes is at the back, between a back 5 and a back 4 or back 3, whatever you want to say.
There's no difference between a back 5, back 4, back 3. It's just where the guys go.
It's just where the guys go.
They're all essentially the same position.
Right. So he never really changes formation in any serious way. So, I mean, who do we plug into these holes? Do you start Antonio? I know that sounded funny.
He has to start if he's fit. He has to start.
If he's fit, you start him. Well, no. If you're depends on how much time do you think he's going to be able to play on it? That's my question.
Well, I mean,
because if he's not going to be 100% fit for Sevilla, and I'm just thinking big picture, you don't risk trying to play him from the start.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's the deal: is it okay is it okay? You know, I mean, if you start him and you know he's not 100%, we lose him for the rest of the season.
If he's not okay, you don't play him. That's the thing.
If he's like at 75%, you don't start him. Period.
With me, it's you're either 100% or you're not. And if you're not 100%, he shouldn't.
No one's 100% at this point in the season, though.
Well, Dawson's getting injections so he can play in matches. I mean, nobody's playing injured.
Dawson's been playing injured for a long time now. But let me.
I think we have to. I do think we have to change it up. We have to do something different to the first leg, because one thing I took from the first leg was we sat off, which is fair enough. We respect. We're in their backyard, but we have to make it hostile for them. And I think the way you do that, a lot of the time that I noticed specifically against them and against Aston Villa, there was a lot more pressing from the front. Against Sevilla, there wasn't much pressing because we allowed them to sit back. And again, you do that with the top teams, especially when you're playing away and you're playing. We have to make it uncomfortable for them. And I think you need at least 4 or 5 players that will be pressing from the start for Moyes. I think you need to on the front foot from minute 1, you have to be there. And I think if we allow ourselves to sit off of Sevilla, and because this is what they did so well the other day, was the pass, one side to the other, diagonal, the other side, then pass it back, then they're a top side. That's what they'll do. And they'll probably have Rakitic back for this game as well, which means even more problems for us in the midfield if we allow them to operate. So for me personally, and again, this is not what Moyes will do, but I would almost employ, because Diego Carlos is probably going to be back for this leg as well, would employ Souček further forward and actually bring Alex Krau into the team. And he's not going to do that, but that's what I would do. I would look to try and shore the midfield up.
At that point, I'd put Noble.
I wouldn't start Noble, not in a game like this. I think we need players that are going to bring a certain level of intensity, and I think Souček potentially to cause problems up there against the likes of Carlos and Koundé, because they're going to find it very difficult with the pair of them back now to do that. I want to see something a little bit different. I want to see a team that will be fit, pressing from the front, like I said, because we need to make it as uncomfortable as possible. We cannot allow them to have the time on the ball that they had in the away leg. You do that in the away leg because you respect your opposition. In a home leg, you have to make it uncomfortable from minute 1.
I'm not against Mark Noble making an appearance in this game.
I guess my thing would be, if we were down like 2, I would totally understand that. But it's just that you're down 1. You only need 1 goal, no away goals, so there's no additional punishment if they score. But at this point, if you're just trying to get a foothold in the game, I'd almost I'd sit Noble in front of the back 4 and then have Rice and Souček go at it and be competitive in that midfield.
Do you know what? I would even put the 3 in midfield. And the reason I say Krau, if Krau is your man that sits in front of the back 4, I think he's bigger, he's faster than Noble. It actually would allow you and free up Declan Rice to not have to do that role. It would give him the option to be able to press a little bit further forward, get further forward, be a little bit more intricate with the passing play and linking play. Like if you have him as almost like a number 8 in that team, you could potentially unlock just something different, because I think if we do what we did,
can't go and put Krau in the first leg.
Say again.
I said we can't really go and put Krau in when he ain't played all season.
No, I know. Listen. I am.
That's why I go Noble. He's your experienced captain. He's understands the big game.
I understand why you say Rakitic pulling the strings in midfield. Rakitic versus Noble is a matchup I never thought I'd ever see in my life. But it's just I love Noble as much as the next person, but
no, you don't.
No,
I know I don't. But
don't say that.
Fucking liar.
I just think the game will pass him by very quickly.
Yeah.
But saying that, he was exceptional supposedly against Liverpool. I didn't actually manage to catch the Liverpool game, but supposedly
he was great, mate.
Against Liverpool. So
I tell you, there's there's an intangible that I think he could bring. The biggest problem I have right now is I don't think the Rice Suchek pairing is working. I don't think it's been working all season long. And with Noble in against Liverpool, honestly, I mean, we were better in those two spots than I think we've been in a long time, to be honest. Now, I mean, once again, with Liverpool and Sevilla, the same things happened. We couldn't finish our chances, chances to score in both of those games, couldn't finish them. And that's got nothing to do with your defensive midfielders. But I mean, we were kind of solid. We were kind of solid in defensive midfield with Noble in there against Liverpool. I mean, I know he's old. I know all that, but
look, it's his last season. He's going to give you everything. That's how it's gonna go for him. I guess my thing at this point is with Suchek and Rice this season, it feels like, and maybe I'm wrong, it feels like they're both just trying to do the same thing, play the same role too often, instead of one at certain times yielding to the other. I guess what I'm trying to say is their balance is out of whack.
Christ, I've just fucking realised if Cresswell is injured and Masuaku has to fucking play.
Not necessarily. All right, hang on.
No.
Ben Johnson.
Scott has got to go. I was just going to say, Scott just told us in our private chat he's got to go. He's taking off for a trip. But thank you, Scott, for being on. I appreciate it, and we'll have you on again soon, as always. We could put Johnson at the left, Fredericks at right back, and I would rather do that than put Masuaku on, because my confidence level, somebody asked up earlier, what's your confidence level in Masuaku? 1 to 10. 1 is way too high. Mine is a 0.
Oh, jeez. No.
It's for me. I mean, look, Tecatito Corona, he absolutely ruined us at points. I love Wally. I don't mean to upset you here at all. I just can't imagine 90 minutes of Ryan Fredericks against a skillful winger. Campos is out of the second leg as well, which is good.
You really want Arthur Masuaku out there if there's no Cresswell? You really want Masuaku? Or are you going to put Fornals back in that wing back position?
Well, I think Fornals, for me, when I think someone said they'd play Fornals in the middle, I don't know if it was Foe or someone else that said it, but I think you've got to have Fornals down the left, simply because I think he did negate a lot of what Jesus Navas likes to do. He couldn't overlap as much potentially down that left-hand side. Again, this comes into the whole Ben Rama thing. If it meant putting Ben Rama on because of the injuries and stuff, I'd even maybe look to put him in Jarrod Bowen's position. If they don't have Acuna down that right-hand side and they've got the second choice left back in, may have more success down the right.
That's the tricky bit, because say if Vlasic is fit, you're going to have to choose between Vlasic, Lanzini, and Ben Rama. One of them has got to be on the bench. If none of them are on the bench, we are fucked.
You have got to play. You have got to play 3 in midfield, because if Carlos is back, that allows Goodell to play as a defensive midfielder, which then allows Rakitic and Torres to play in the centre. Their midfield 3 will destroy us if we just play Suchek and Rice in there. You have to play. It has to be a 4-3-3, and Rice, Suchek, and another central midfielder or a creative midfielder like Lanzini has got to be in there, because
Mark Noble, for instance.
I think it almost has to be Noble.
It has to be.
Because again, like I just said, that would be an absolute monstrosity if we didn't have one impact sub on the bench. It'd be a monstrosity.
I mean, we're never going to see a 4-3-3, though. You know that, right, Tom? You know this Moises. He doesn't change. He never changes.
Well, I would hope that he knows going into that he is going to have to, because they're I'm sure we all know this, but I can promise you there will be points in the game where we do not touch the ball for at least 5 minutes at a time.
Yes.
I don't give a shit. But I saw some people on Twitter the other day saying, when Rakitic plays, he's not the same person. We're going to do this, that, and the other. And Geezer's 34 and he can still control a game from midfield. They will run rings around us in midfield. That's why we have to make it uncomfortable as possible. And if that means putting 3 in the midfield to combat them, a good manager may do that, and I would hope that he has learned. Maybe this he won't do, and this is where maybe his naiveties of not having been a consistent European manager, he may not do that, and he may just go, all right, 4-2-3-1, let's go, and we'll do the same things we always do. But hopefully there is a bit of tactical nous inside of Moyes' brain that will try to match up with them, because I think otherwise we're just going to get outrun. But we have to do something different. Look, remember when we did this stream a couple of weeks ago when I was on, etc. I just said, get it back to the home game at 1 goal and everything's to play for.
Yeah,
we did that.
Yeah, but
That's
we
what
weren't
we
thinking
needed.
about the
We just
injuries.
needed to be in the game, and we're in the game.
No, I'm totally with you, Tom. But I'm also with Phil. We weren't thinking about, probably missing Bowen, possibly missing Vlasic. We don't know about Cresswell. I mean, that's the real issue.
Cresswell,
110% though. The crowd will be it. I'm sure 100%. The best atmosphere I've ever been to at London Stadium was Chelsea against us against Chelsea in the cup. We played them. When it all kicked off before they sorted all the stands and stuff out in a cup game, and we beat them like 2-1, and Edmilson Fernandez scored. Like, it was that long ago. It needs to be that kind of atmosphere for me. And I do not doubt for a second that it will be. That place will be full to the rafters. But that bit of intensity, like the other day when Moyes was praising their fans and stuff, when we had the ball and we were passing around our back four, the fans were on top, whistling constantly, just making some sort of noise. That's how it's got to be, because they will carry you through in moments like that.
Would you go with Dan Chester's, Tom?
Oh, you can't possibly throw an academy player into this game, can you? There's no way. I mean,
but you got a player who can only do. You got a player in Nobu who can only do 60 minutes. You got another player in Krell who don't get on the pitch, and Dan Chesters has played more minutes than Krell, really. So,
I know we're not about. We don't feel comfortable playing the academy guys, but we're not in a position where we can just pick and choose right now. We're literally at the bare bones. We can't just sit here and play. Oh, well, yeah, if we had our full selection, of course we wouldn't play them. But we're not with our full selection. So we're going to have to take some risks. That's the reality we are in.
Well, let me ask you that.
Thursday or Sunday, we're going to have to take a risk.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Make that choice.
This is the question to me, all right? This is the question to me. You got Thursday, you got the second leg of a knockout tie that we are in, all right? As Tom said, we're in it. Sunday, you've got a match that could determine whether or not we make top 6, all right?
Yeah.
If you've got to prioritize one or the other for risk-taking, as Phil's talking about, which one would you rather win? Or would you rather try
Thursday?
I'd rather beat Spurs, mate. If I'm honest.
Do you know what's worse is, though, that we shouldn't have to say which one would you rather.
I know, but I mean,
to say we can go for both.
You know that we do have to, right? I mean, we do have to say that.
I'd feel a lot better if we won on Thursday, and then, because you said prioritize, I'd rather win Thursday, and even say we don't have, I'll just throw it out there, Antonio Bowen for some reason. I still think we can, just like we've done before, we can leg away a point just off pure.
Even if you get Bowen at half fitness, it will still be more impactful than Antonio for me on Sunday, or even Thursday if he comes back. But
just because it's a dark game, I think we could walk away with a point on Sunday regardless of injuries.
I tell you what, I will say. Can I say one thing though? I know we were talking about strikers and stuff before. I'm gonna have to go in a second because I'm absolutely fucking knackered. But if I tell you what,
it's no excuse.
I tell you what, I know we spoke a lot in the summer about we weren't sure about spunking 40 million on En-Nesyri or whatever he was. I was seriously impressed with him the other day. There were headers that he had no right getting to.
He was great.
And he was causing all sorts of problems in there. Yes, he hasn't scored for a little while, and I know somebody said there that Sevilla usually like to get a 1-0 scoreline at the moment, which is true, and again, we saw it with us, they, beat it by 1-0. Yeah. En-Nesyri was a problem. He was a lot better than I actually thought that he was. He is a very mobile, big striker, and he is someone that if we could, and it was on a short list of names, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with it, because I actually thought he played very well, even though he got nothing out of it for himself. He looked a very good talent. He was a big, mobile striker who has a lot of running in him, and he caused a lot of problems.
Do you think there's any chance we were actually in for him, Tom? I mean,
I would hope so, but we fucking need a striker. So I would.
No, I agree we need a striker, but I'm just saying all these rumors swirl around and then it never happens.
Nunes for 50 million.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'm just saying I'd love to have him. I would love to have him. I agree with you completely. Chris Ritzik, who does the show with us sometimes, keeps a spreadsheet of all the players we're tied with or linked with in transfer windows, and it goes on. It's like there's like 100 names in it. So I guess my point is, yes, I was impressed with him too. I don't think he was like inches away from coming to West Ham. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of these guys, it was never going to happen.
What I'm saying is, if he was on the short list, I wouldn't be against it.
I agreed.
I was shocked at how good his performance was the other day, is what I would
say. All right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm totally with you on that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Yeah, so
No, I'm just looking at the comments. So many
well,
people saying
it's getting salty in the comments. That's okay.
No, about Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So we can go around the room. What would your lineup be on Thursday? Let's say if Antonio and Cresswell are fit. All right, let's just say they're fit enough to travel. We'll go with that. So let your mind do the wandering, and what would your lineup be?
So you say Cresswell's fit enough to travel, huh?
They're both fit enough to travel.
Oddly enough, Cresswell is more
I'd go
important.
McCloskey, Repka, Moore, Hurst.
Can we get DeCanio? Can we get DeCanio out there? Can we get how about Scott Parker? Scott Parker.
Bucket, Pyatt, bring him back.
Actually, you know what?
Bring back Tevez.
I want to answer your question, Lucas, but the very first player. Let's start with the very first player. Does anybody think about Fabianski in this game instead of Areola?
No.
No, not really.
Nah.
You don't think he's better?
Do anything wrong the other day for me.
You don't think Fab's better?
Again,
it's not a question of who's better, but I think Areola. That's his position, is the cup keeper, and I don't think he's done anything to deserve being dropped from that position.
Do you think he's the best player available at that position for this game?
If I say he's better than Fabianski, am I going to get some flack for that? Or
not for me?
I think he's a better overall keeper. I think, Fabianski's done well, but
I don't know that I disagree with you. I'm just asking.
I think the better overall keeper is Areola, but
I find it funny that you have a cup keeper and a keeper in the league, because I feel as though keepers don't really run that much.
They still get injured. I mean, Fabianski got fucking injured.
Well, Fabianski's injured all the time.
He destroyed his hip flexor kicking a ball. I mean,
I know that's part of the problem.
He's old.
And he comes out for warm-ups.
An old man.
Comes out for warm-ups, then he's out for a month. So no, I don't think it goes. I guess you'd have to go with Areola. I would personally. I think Cresswell is more critical to us than Antonio. Personally, I think he's because I think if he's not,
I was going to say I think that's the most underrated injury.
I agree. I think if he's not there, it creates the biggest hole. So if Cresswell is fit, I absolutely play Cresswell with Dawson Zuma and Ben Johnson. I don't know.
I do think that's also not been spoken about enough. And I know Soufal had a very hot and cold season because he wasn't necessarily as good when he came back from the Euros, and then he started playing good again. And I don't think Johnson's output offensively is as good as what Soufal offers.
It's absolutely not, and he's solid defensively usually, but it's a big miss. Soufal,
and that's a big worry if Ben Johnson has to play on the left, because he's going to be virtually non-existent going forward.
See, I think, I understand this, but I don't think Cresswell's been that bad, number one. Number two, we don't have a good replacement for him. Johnson is okay on the left. He's not great.
Fo. Love you, Fo.
Oh, all right, Fo. We'll see you later. Masuaku is not a defender, period. He was a winger. He's a mediocre winger, and that's about it. So I think the biggest potential miss via injury is Cresswell. If Cresswell's fit, I'm absolutely starting Cresswell with Dawson, Zuma, Johnson, and I'm with you, Tom. On I love Soufal. I know he's not had a great season, but he's definitely better going forward than Johnson. I I don't hate your idea of a 4-3-3. I don't hate the idea of like, you know,
Noble.
I don't hate the idea of Noble being out there starting for 60 minutes. It doesn't bother me. The question is,
Make it sound like a tonight on 60 Minutes.
Mark Noble.
And I still haven't heard your lineup yet.
From Seville.
I'm giving you my lineup. This is my lineup.
Yeah, fucking calm down. He's gonna give you a lineup.
I think.
I wish you would have told me to put my feet up and my hands back.
Come on, put your feet up. Put your hands
When
behind
have
your
we? When have
back.
I? Let me ask you this: when has brevity ever been my strong suit, Lucas?
Yeah,
When
let's
have
talk
I
about
ever?
Tom Brady.
When have I ever
Yeah,
done
I'm
anything? When have I ever done
retiring.
anything like quickly? It's not how I work.
I mean, I shouldn't really be talking either. But.
That's what you've done the show a million times. You know how these things go. I would put Noble in. I'm not. I would. I don't know. See, I don't know. Now I'm not sure. But if you stuck Noble in the middle of Rice and Suchek, I think it'd make us very. And he's a good passer of the ball. No, I'd put him in. And then I'd have Fornells. I'd have Benrahma. And honestly, call me romantic. I think I would start Yarmolenko. I really do. I would start him.
No.
He had a good game.
No, we are
He's
not.
playing for.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking
passionately.
No, I'm speaking for myself. The fact that it took a fucking World War potential thing to get people loving Yarmolenko again. It's just no. The geezer's not good enough. No.
The fact that it took that for him to give his
exactly. The geezer's not good enough. He shouldn't start.
Well, I mean,
but if we're just,
but again, I go back to this. Do you start a half healthy Antonio in his place, who's not been in good form? Is Antonio good enough? Is Antonio good enough right now?
But if we're talking, as someone as novelist just said there in the chat, if it's Kunde and Diego Carlos playing, he's getting nowhere near him. He's not going to do anything for him. What are they going to do? He's going to look to cut in on his left-hand side and take either a pot shot. From
Antonio at least showed in the opening 15 minutes that he can abuse them physically.
He will back into, and he did it the other day for Kunde. There was that, I think.
He wrecked him. He wrecked him
in the second half, especially. He did it to Goodell, where he just flattened him in the first half. But in the second half, he actually at least backed into him, and I think it came back to
you at least need that presence
wide of the post.
You at least need that presence or aspect that like this guy can run through you.
Yeah.
At any given moment. So Tom, what would your lineup be?
Can he run through you? I mean, I love Antonio. I love Antonio. You know that. I don't love Antonio right now.
That was it. Antonio actually chested it, like he did hold Kunde off. That's the difference, is having someone that can do that. But I would go with Areola. If it meant Cresswell was back, Cresswell, Dawson, Zuma, Johnson, I think that picks itself.
It does.
Lord forbid. I'm
assuming you're doing a 4-3-3.
Yeah, I'm doing a 4-3-3. I would have Rice. I would have Suchek, and probably have Noble. But
yes.
If only, for the love of God, that it meant he sat in front of the back four and just allowed Declan Rice to go
back
forward.
and play it again. Tom Atherton said Mark Noble in the starting 11 for a European knockout match. This is the greatest night in the history of American Amherst TV.
And then I would have definitely Fornals, definitely.
Say it.
You better say it.
It's a toss up for me. It's either you go Benrahma or Lanzini, but who do I think can be more effective down the right? It would probably be Benrahma, but then I feel like we miss, as Lucas said, the impact player off the bench, which I thought he did very well the other day. He could go completely different, and he could go Lanzini in the middle, and then that allows Benrahma and Fornals to interchange off the left and the right, whatever he decides to do. But I think we still need one impact player off the bench, and I think Benrahma can change a game off the bench more so than Lanzini could.
But do you want to see Lanzini on the right?
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know.
He's got to play in the middle. So that's the problem. If you go 4-3-3, then you know, and you want Antonio out there as your striker, you're cutting Lanzini out because he's really a 10, right?
Well, you can play a diamond almost and have similar.
Have him just kind of tuck in on defense.
Yeah, but you could have also someone play a little bit more centrally and have Benrahma playing off of Antonio, or and like Lucas said, just have Fornals be able to drop down and stuff. It really depends, but I don't think if we play 4-2-3-1 and it's Rice and Souček that have to play a little pivot midfield, I think we'll get overrun. So how he decides to do it, I don't know. But
let me ask you this: take Noble out, put Lanzini back in that midfield, not at the 10, but back with the
Can't do it.
with the 3 defensive midfielders.
No impact sub.
Well, I mean,
one of them.
As much as I love Vlasic, he's not. I wouldn't say he's an impact sub. I think he's a lot better. I think he's a lot better starting than coming off the bench. So that's kind of
impact
Do
that
you
we
count
have.
Vlasic as a false 9?
If Antonio's fit, he has to play. That's the thing.
yeah,
The only
but
real
if
impact
Antonio,
we have is
on the flip side, if Antonio's not fit, then Vlasic maybe is a
If
false
Antonio
9.
was on that plane going to Seville, he has to start.
I mean, he can go to Seville, but he won't
be
be
on
the
the
game
plane.
because
He'll
it's at
just
London
be
Stadium.
here. If he's on the bus ride,
I was going to say, yeah, if he does get on that plane, Lucas, he'll be in Seville on his own because
Whatever they do, I don't know what you
get
Europeans do.
That's true. That's true. If he did fly to Seville, he would. Yeah, it's a valid point.
I'll tell you what, if he did fly to Seville, he wasn't there at the minute. He'd be doing
there.
us, I'll tell you, if he was on the flight to Seville on his own, he'd be doing us a fucking favour at the moment of how he's playing.
Well, okay, so I mean, the only real impact sub we have, arguably, is Benrahma. Who else is an impact sub?
I mean, I think Lanzini's
We don't
kind of
have
an
one.
impact sub.
We don't have one.
I don't think we have. No, see,
but you have to change the system to get Lanzini in at that point.
System needs to be changed, mate. 3-4-3.
This is the thing, and I'm not trying to be the disrespectful person to the Benrahma stuff. I actually, like I said, when he came off the bench against Sevilla, he changed the way that we played because he looked to take it to them. He looked to cut inside. You noticed that when he came on. Our other impact subs are usually Yarmolenko, Lanzini when everybody's fit. They're not impact players. But for me, Benrahma is when you come off the bench.
We have 2 impact subs. It's Benrahma and Lanzini. And you
I
have to sit one of them.
I don't think a Lanzini. The thing is, I don't think a Lanzini.
And you're gonna have to start one of them. So.
But I tell you what, the only reason I would say that for
Benrahma.
Benrahma is if you played, let's say, the hard-working players that will press from the front for the first 60 minutes, he can't maybe, depending on how the game goes, rest in his laurels and then make a sub in the 70th minute or whatnot. If he did get certain players to go out, balls to the wall, give everything for 60 minutes, and then I'll make a sub and then bring Benrahma on and the game's still tight with 30 minutes to go, I'd take that because at least then you will get some form of hopefully impact from him. I just think if he starts, especially in this game, he could be knackered by the 60th minute because he's done so much chasing around, and then we'd go to the bench and we bring a Yarmolenko on, and then all of a sudden there's no impact whatsoever. So
yeah, but we can also be out the game in 60 minutes, though, so and all.
Yeah, they get one goal and it's over.
Moyes, that's his problem now.
They get one goal and it's over. We know that.
It's
We have to
gonna be
score
hard
first.
Well, yeah, you can't afford to let them score first. That's first thing.
They score first, and it's. I mean,
So,
we're not.
Tom, finish your lineup. You're missing 2 players.
Okay, so I'm going to.
You're missing a right winger and a
I was
striker.
gonna say, could you back up and start over again? I'm sorry, because I've totally lost
Areola, Johnson, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell. I'm going to drop Noble second time round now. I'm thinking of it because I want Lanzini potentially. So I'll go Lanzini, Souček, Rice as a 3. And then I'd have Fornals, Antonio if he's fit. And then... Oh, fucking hell. But how do I work it? Because then Bowen's not on the pitch. Oh, fuck me. Vlasic if he's fit.
There's not a gun to your fucking head. Just say it.
Just go with it.
If he's fit, again, see, I really liked Vlasic in the first half an hour the other day against Sevilla. I thought that was some of the best thing he's done so far. Like, he looked dangerous and he should have scored. The fucking donut didn't score, but he should have scored. So, just see. But then again, do I like Benrahma as the impact sub? Yes. Do I like Vlasic as an impact sub? No. I don't know, Lucas. I don't know.
You know
No,
what?
it's hard. It's
They'll
hard because
probably drop the
we're back
NWSL schedule before you get through with your lineup.
Phil, what do you think? What's your
This
lineup?
is what Bowen out has done to it, because if Bowen was fit, none of this would be a problem.
So he's
I know,
definitely
I know.
out. All right, let's go through this.
I think he's out. Yeah.
Areola, of course, in goal. Johnson, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell. You have Noble sitting in front of the back four, Rice, Socek in the midfield helping press. I go Benrahma, Vlasic, and ultimately you go Antonio.
James, what would your lineup be on Thursday?
3-4-3, mate. 3 centre halves, 2 wing backs, Rice and Souček as your 2 midfielders, 3-man attack. The 3-man attack could be Fornals, Lanzini, or Benrahma, Fornals, and Yarmolenko. You can rotate it around. Left back, Mazawaku. Left wing back, Mazawaku for pace, get up and down the pitch. Right wing back, Ben Johnson. You can have 3 centre halves there. And that will give us open up space for us to sort of spread the play wide, go through them.
It's the middle of the park, though. You lose
The only
a
thing
lot
that terrifies
in the
me about that is Masuaku. I gotta say, James, I don't have.
That's not even the problem with that. It's the middle then, because there's such a gap in the middle. I remember when we did that against Brighton earlier in the season, and all they kept doing was passing it out wide, separating the play, passing it back to Lewis Dunk, and then a single pass would cut through the middle and open our entire defence up because everybody would shrink. And then it doesn't matter if you're playing 5 at the back at that point, because then the wings become. The only way I can see it working is if there are 3 in the middle to combat the 3 in the middle that they will play. I think James is right. That could be a system, especially attacking wise, to try and create some problems for them with an overlap, which we didn't seem to do the other night or whenever it was. Rarely did we get that opportunity. But again, it comes down to who's going to win that midfield matchup. And I think if we do play with the 2, I can see it getting overrun.
But I think if you go 3 up front, and you have 2 up front and a number 10.
Who's your 3 in the back? I'm sorry. Who's your 3 in the back?
Well, Zuma, Dawson, and if you've got to play Diop, play him. I've seen all 3 of them play this year, but then you've also got to change it around. Do you go Ben Johnson as your right centre half, Dawson and Zuma, and then Fredericks as your right wing back?
Can I throw you all a curveball?
Go ahead, Tom.
4-3-3. Yeah, you play Diop and Dawson, but you play Zuma as a defensive midfielder that sits in front of the back 4, and then allow the other 2 to go. No, I'm too tired. Right, I'm going to go because I need to.
Could do, but then
I'm not going to say.
You still need to fill out your lineup. I don't know where you're going.
I'm just saying you might have a little whiskey in the coffee.
Listen, I love an Irish coffee as much as the next man, but not at 2 in the morning.
You can't play. Listen, I understand what people are saying about 4-2-4. You can't play a 4-2-4, mate, because we'll go for. Because what we've got to do is make sure we don't lose the game. Right? Do you know what I mean?
You're not going to win it in the first 60, but you sure as hell can lose it.
Yeah, we could be going all out attack, and we could be 1-0 down. Then we've got to score 2 goals to stay in the game. So. For me, I just think contain. It all depends if Vlasic is back and Bowen's back. If Bowen's back, you go Bowen, Benrahma.
I don't think Bowen's coming back, James. I don't. I'm sorry. I hope he is, but I don't think the indications are good. That's why I've been going with let's assume he's not going to be there.
I know
if he is, that changes everything. If he's there, it changes everything.
Can I just quickly say, I know he can't play as a defensive midfielder. I was just being a bit facetious.
Who, Zuma?
Yeah, I was being a bit facetious. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's late, and Tom is clinically insane. So.
We know you know. we know you know ball.
No, we know you. It's that woman you got to live with. She's driving you crazy. I know that's what it is. She's
Ben Watson. The only problem with the Fredericks right wing, like Villa away, was the fact that he had Sue foul, and that literally was done only to double up against Grealish.
You know about that exactly. Game?
Yeah, but I do think Ben Johnson would be. I think Ben Johnson would be good in a 3-back as the 3rd center half. Personally,
I honestly, all of these. I think
that
the biggest issue here is the last thing I would say, because I'm going to go because I am very tired. I think literally it's not Antonio's injury. the one that has completely stumped everyone on what to do is Bowen's injury. And
Absolutely.
that's crazy to me
Yes.
that it's,
Yes.
yes, we know we need another striker, 100%, but all of our lineups have changed based on the fact that Jarrod Bowen is not playing, because if Bowen plays,
Absolutely.
everybody can pick a better lineup. You know, it's that right-hand side is who the hell do we stick there?
I have a feeling he's going to get that injection on Thursday.
Oh, if he can get that, if the injection is the only thing stopping him from playing, he plays.
I tell you
And
what, he
that
doesn't even
changes
need an
everything.
injection. He needs a rocket up his ass from Daddy Dyer and just
Which
get out
one?
there and play, son.
Which one?
I was going to say, I think
Daddy. No, I know it sounded like I said Danny Dyer, but I said Daddy Dyer.
Daddy. Oh, I was going to say, I think he provides the rockets most of the time for the daughter there. No, you're absolutely right. Without Bowen, it becomes it's one of those puzzles that's impossible to finish. You know, it's just too bad. That he suffers this injury, and then the news comes back like, oh, it's not serious. Not serious enough to keep him out for two of the biggest games the club has had in decades.
Before Tom goes, I'll say my lineup because he has to hear it.
Yes, you got to hear it.
He just has to hear it, or he cannot go to bed
because
Sleepless
Fredericks and Masuaku are both in it, right?
I would go,
and Mark Noble too.
I'm gonna go off the premise that Aaron Cresswell and Michail Antonio will be in that dressing room in Seville. They will be at the stadium
in Seville.
Once again, that will put them about 1,000 miles away from where they're supposed to be. Maybe not that far.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna go. I mean,
a few hundred miles away from London Stadium.
Areola back four speaks for itself. Midfield speaks for itself, or at least two of them. I would go Noble solely for the fact that we need an impact sub of some sort. Then I would go. You have to.
You had him in your starting 11. Tom,
yeah, and then I realized how stupid it sounded.
Yeah, no, it's too late.
Okay, sure, Tom.
Exactly.
You have to start Fornals because he is not an impact sub. You have to start him.
That's true.
Antonio has to play striker, and then I think Benrahma has to start on the wing. If I see Lanzini on the right wing, I will. I'm not going to give up hope, obviously, but like that's just
sense.
Yeah,
I'm just going to fly on the inside. That's what will happen.
And then that will at least give you.
I think he's out, Hammerhead. That's the problem. I don't think he's available.
That will at least give you Vlasic and Lanzini, even though I just said Vlasic is not the best impact sub. In theory, you have a somewhat decent attacking player off the bench, and then Lanzini has proved to be viable coming off the bench at times.
Mark Noble, absolute.
Do you know what I think about your lineup, Lucas? I think you need to turn around. You see that?
I think you need to finish yours.
You see that little Kylian Mbappe FIFA 22 game on behind you there on your dashboard. You need to load that up, and you need to just shut up.
Tom only got.
I made a career mode as you as manager.
Tom only
I couldn't
got
play
10
any
players
matches
on the
though
pitch.
because I couldn't finish the lineup.
You couldn't get a 10. Yeah, he never put the 11th player out there. So, yeah,
Tom's at 9. He needs 2 more.
Antonio and there you go, 10.
Listen,
play with that.
Listen, Mark Noble screamer in injury time to get us level. Okay,
and then you woke up. All right.
And
anyway,
then it goes to penalties. Okay.
Lovely
Tom,
to see
thank
you
for
all.
being on. Thank you as always for being on. It's good to see you. Say hi to your lovely lady there in the house, will you? Okay.
Oh, it's mad now that you can say hello to my lovely fiance. That's weird.
Oh,
isn't it?
That's true. Your lovely fiance. Well, we love her.
Fucking weird.
And you should have her on. You should have her come on more often. Okay.
Keep an eye out for Thursday. I'm elbowing her to try and do a match review for Thursday. So.
Oh, good. All right, good. Well, next time we're on, have her come on, have her jump by.
I'll try.
We'll have a cuppa. Right. We'll have a cuppa.
Jesus Christ. Right. Lovely to see you all, gentlemen. I will see you soon.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
Take care. Bye, James. Bye, everybody. Bye.
All right. So I failed to get from Tom a prediction for it. James, did you go through your lineup for Sevilla? I think you did, didn't you? Did you get through it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to give you my prediction. I'm going to have to shoot because I've got to be up in the
I was going to
morning.
say, I want to do predictions and then I got to go because, frankly, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's about that time.
I can't do these 3-hour
time.
things anymore. We're gonna cut this one off pretty soon. All right. So what do you think? James?
I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect on
I don't either.
Thursday. The only thing I will say is that I do expect West Ham to give it 1,000%. Whoever plays, they will go for it. The problem is we've got to do a bit of game management here and make sure that we don't lose the game like by going for it too early. Like, do you know what I mean? If it ain't going our way in the first 45, it's level. We need to stay in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The other day, if you'd have asked me the other day, Saturday, I would have said, "Oh, I fancied us to win 3-1." I thought like we'll turn up, Antonio, Cresswell, everything. I think the two injuries have been massive blows. Like, especially the Cresswell one is a bad one because of the corners, set pieces and things like that. So, I think we might just get a 1-0 and it's going to go all the way to Ben's. If you want me to be honest, I think we will score because we've scored in every game at West Ham this season.
Yes.
In the league. So I do feel we will score. And Sevilla haven't won a game, I don't think, away from home in the Europa League this season, or even Champions League. So yeah.
Whoa! Hang on a second, Peach. Hang on. I'm gonna mute you for a second, Peach, because you're making noise. All right, keep going, James. I know you got to go.
Yeah,
keep going.
So basically, that's what I think it is, mate. I think it's a 1-0. And I think it could go all the way to the penalties.
If it goes to penalties, then you can send your sympathy cards to my wife and family because I will have died of some sort of cardiac arrest. So just so you know, because I don't think I can handle that. But yeah, I'd rather go to penalties than us.
I've got one better for you.
Thing is, I just see a comment there from Hammerhead saying about 4-0 taking corners. So is Cresswell, mate. And Cresswell's free kicks also from set pieces are massive.
Cresswell is the best set piece
just
taker.
want to put that in there.
He's the best set piece taker we have. I agree. Yes. Fornells has been okay, but Cresswell's been better.
In theory, yes.
All right. Appreciate it, James. Are you sticking around, or are you gonna take off?
I tell you what, I will make a move because I've got to be up, mate. So yeah,
you're totally welcome to stick around. Obviously, I know you said.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. I'm cool. Do you know what I mean? Take care, gentlemen. All the best. And
hope you're feeling better.
All right, James. All right,
care,
we'll see you soon. Thank you for being on again.
No worries. Peace.
All right, let's see. Peach is here. Pete, just as we're getting done, I love this. All right, now there you go. What's going on, Peach? How you doing?
None. Good show.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Very
that.
welcome,
Yeah. Well,
we needed an encore, and you stepped right in.
I was going to say we're dwindling down. We left with nothing but the Yanks, so we got a Canuck coming in. And
see, we got a Canuck Yankee. Dog. How do you mean? That's
right.
That's it.
I
saw you, Dog.
Being packed up. That's all.
Big
this is a real Montreal Expo situation.
I saw you.
These
UK boys, Doc. These UK boys, man. Like big up Tom and James still, but it's like 1:45, and they're yawning like it's like 4:45 in the morning. Like,
they're working men though, Peach. They're working men. Come on now.
All I need is 2 sleep. Like 2 hours sleep, I'm good.
Oh
like,
man,
honestly.
I got to sleep, man. I don't do well on 2 hours of sleep. That's not
That's
That's the alien in me, Doc. That's the alien in me. Like, give me 2 hours sleep, I'm good. I don't even drink coffee. I don't even drink coffee, Doc. I don't even drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee because I don't like it, but I drink Diet Dr. Pepper.
I love, and you know what? Even the Diet Dr. Pepper is dope too.
The Diet
I was just reenacting City choking away the Premier League. Sorry
man, what
was that about?
Today? Against Palars. How did we not beat Palars?
They'll still win the league.
Palace did look good. Vieira is an excellent manager. Let me tell you, Patrick Vieira is. I mean, he's. I think
Liverpool cannot win the league.
Well, I think they might.
Right.
I mean,
why
not? They did it 2 years ago. It's not impossible.
We don't need that.
Again.
I don't really care.
We don't need either side to win, but one of them is going to.
Yes,
I just don't want
but
Chelsea to win. I
Liverpool
don't think
American
Chelsea will win.
supporters are obnoxious.
And
That's
Liverpool
true.
Canadian
That's true.
supporters.
Man
Well,
City
so
fans,
American-
Man City fans, they
Yep.
show up for the title clinching match
Yep.
and then they go on a parade. Liverpool fans are obnoxious.
Yep,
Man
I
City
agree with
fans are just clueless, American wise.
American ones, yes.
And
that's
Lucas,
true.
Lucas, North American wise, don't the Manchester United fans just suck? Like
They're the worst.
yeah.
They're
And,
among the worst.
Them and
They're among
Arsenal.
the- all
and
Arsenal.
Well, they all suck.
All the
They
top
all
six,
suck.
all the fans of top six clubs totally suck.
Mhm.
They do
And
suck.
yeah, and even like Everton
In
fans.
Pig 6 wise, I have to put Man City last. I have to.
I agree with it.
I
What do you
know
mean?
Lee will put Chelsea first.
Oh, in terms of worst fans,
Yeah.
Chelsea have the worst of everything, and I've felt this way for
Did
a
you
long
have
time.
a bad? Did
Yeah,
you have a
Chelsea,
bad
Chicago,
experience?
nightmare.
You've had a bad experience with Chelsea fans.
I
It
don't-
sounds like you-
Chelsea is my 5th, Man City 6th for me. So
I
I can't
went
really
to
relate.
see. I've told you guys before. My nephew, he doesn't really. He's kind of gone off the Premier League. He's watching Formula One a lot now. But my
Good
nephew
kid.
was a big Chelsea supporter.
Subtle
and,
interest.
I took him. My nephew was a big Chelsea supporter, and I took him to see Chelsea when they came to New England. And they played the Revolution. They had an exhibition game against the Revolution a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And I sat in the stadium with, there weren't more than maybe 20,000 people in there, but with all these and these Chelsea people, they don't understand anything about English football. They don't get it at all.
Yeah.
They don't understand the culture. They don't understand the sport. They have no respect for it.
Yeah.
They're like MLS fans. They Americanize everything. And I know we're not English. Okay, I'm not trying to be English, but you can have enough dignity as a fan to sing the proper songs instead of saying things like "Go Chelsea."
But their only tune is Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea.
I know, but
Chelsea.
these American fans don't even sing that song.
Just like Liverpool.
They say "Go Chelsea" like they're cheering for the Patriots or the Red Sox. Go. Nobody says "Go." This is not something you say in England. You don't say "Go." You don't do that, right?
Like
say,
defense.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. That's the kind of thing they're doing. They're chanting defense, and they're not singing like "Come on, you Blues" or whatever they call themselves. They're not doing it the proper way. They're Americanizing everything, and they have no respect for the culture of the game. They don't know the players. All they know is that Chelsea is good. They win, and they've gone out and they've bought the blue shirts, and now they're big Chelsea fans. And I'm telling you, they have. And not everybody's like this, okay? I mean, I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush, but the large majority of Chelsea people I've spent time with, that's how they are. And it's just no respect for the game. No respect for the culture of the game.
Lee, can I ask you, like Lucas was saying about like Liverpool fans, they don't even know the tune like Never Walk Alone. Is that true, Lucas?
No, I'm just saying that's the only. Well,
That's
Liverpool in
the only
general,
one they know.
after they sing it, they go pretty quiet.
I forgot
they
my
got
man
nothing.
Roy is from Texas. I
They got
forgot my
nothing.
man Roy is from Texas. Roy, I forgot you were from Texas, man. How you doing? I forgot that was you. That's awesome. He's from Texas.
Big up,
My man
Roy.
There you go. There you go. I have a cousin named Roy, by the way. That's not him, but I have a cousin named Roy.
But that's
yes,
that's
and
in
he's
ge-
right
that's
about
in
this, too.
general for me.
He's right.
But for Liverpool, that's just a general thing, in
I
my
hear that.
opinion.
Yeah.
Most other Pig Six supporters, or at least American supporters, they don't know any chance.
Nothing.
They're ashamed to sing them in public,
Yep.
even to themselves.
Yep.
And that I don't want to go on a
So
rant
we
about
have
that.
a lot of Liverpool people in Boston because of the Red Sox ownership tie-in.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And you know what?
Slicks or whatever
They're
they're honestly-
Schlups.
They're not the worst. They're not the worst. They're not the worst. They're bad, but they're not the worst. Chelsea are the worst. I would say Tottenham after that because they have a weird. Because they think by supporting Tottenham they're supporting this little struggling club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
they think
They are
they're
a little
supporting.
strong club.
They think they're supporting America.
Hey! Well, they just don't. I mean, again, no real respect for the sport. Do you know what I mean? No respect for the game. Budgie, how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, Nick. How are you, sir?
Budgie's in the building. Budgie's in the building.
What's
Rah,
going
rah,
on?
rah.
What's going
He say,
on?
my
How you
G.
doing?
What are you sounding surprised for? You're the one that sent me the link, Peach.
I know, but since you're in the building, I ain't sounding surprised, dog. I'm just like,
I'm
yo,
glad
I'm
you're
just
here.
like
I'm glad
building
you're
you up.
here.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we? Lucas, Lee,
Fantastic.
Phil, how are you,
Yeah, we're
gentlemen?
okay. We're
Peach.
okay. Yeah.
Can you sing that song, dog? Like for all of us,
Oh,
please,
God,
please,
again.
please,
Mate, I'll be on the X
please.
Factor in a minute. You watch.
I know, but you
Oh.
got the song is so dope. But yo, I'll show you this. I'll
Right,
show you
I
this.
cannot take any credit for the song. I just know the
I know
tune
it's
that
Happy
it gave me.
Hammerette. I know,
It
but
was,
yo,
and she posted it in the group.
I know.
So
But yo, Brethren, before you sing the song, I gotta shout out Lee. Because
Yes.
like, you know what, Doc? I have a friend here who knew nothing about football and like nothing about football.
Right.
Didn't know like the ball was round. He thought it was like iron grid things. And it's like, I'll show you, he started like following football and like his team of choice was Chelsea. He has no ties with Chelsea, no ties whatsoever. Not even ties like going to a match, not even ties like just loving the club. Like
He chose
it
them
was
because
weird.
they're
And
because
he's
they
my
win.
boy still, but
Yeah.
like homeboy, like because he's like money rockets, went to like West London, got to go to wherever they play. I forget what it's called, but I'll remember. But
Stamford
yeah,
Bridge,
wherever
yeah,
they
Stamford
play,
Bridge, yeah.
got to go there, go on a tour, everything like Chris Curry, and it's like he ain't even a supporter like us, dog. Like this boy, when the World Cup was on, came to my gates like to you know, bun two spliffs and thing. And then he's like, oh yeah, did you see the matches? Like this team lost, that team lost, that team lost, this team won. And me and my dad are like fuming at the man because we're like, we got that on record. We couldn't watch it live because it was in like North Korea or some
but he
shit.
spoiled it. He spoiled them all for you.
Oh, he was a spoiler dog.
Yeah,
And it's just like,
yeah.
no, you know what? The Chelsea supporters, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, dog.
They
Like my
just-
worst would be Tottenham #1. Who else? My worst would be Tottenham #1, Liverpool second. No,
Oh.
Man United #1.
Yes.
Even though we got beef with Tottenham, Man United #1, Tottenham second, Liverpool third, and then I don't know who else you got in there. Arsenal, Man City last, and then whoever else is up in the mix.
Mine
second
is
to last.
bang on. It will never change for North America. It is Man U,
You
Tottenham,
get me? You get
Arsenal,
me? And
yeah,
you know what?
they are.
I'm
They are.
not
They
being
are really
racist.
bad.
I'm not being
Liverpool,
racist because I'm not
Chelsea, Man
racist.
City.
I'm not racist at all, dog. I'm not racist at all. I'm a good man. I have like many of friends. I don't see color, dog. I don't see color. But I'll show you. A lot of I won't even like say two things. A lot of brown people support like Manchester United, dog. I don't know why. But they do, dog. And it's nothing against them. It's just that's their club. I get that.
I've never noticed it.
Watch. Now that I said that, you'll see it. It's like when somebody says like, I've seen so many Mazdas like running down the street like this week. Next, like you'll see like all these flipping Mazdas, and you're like, how did that happen? Real talk.
I've never.
I actually, this isn't to hammer your point, but the fact you said that, I do have a Kenyan friend who is a Man United supporter.
Okay, but
you get what I'm saying?
Africa
You get what
Just
I'm
saying.
saying?
Like
Like
you
from
were-
Delhi and things too, dog.
Yeah.
Like more
No,
times Delhi
listen.
things, dog, and like Madras things, Vindaloo things, dog. Trust me.
Just saying.
I'm just gonna make my way out.
No, pick up yourself, dog. Come on,
No,
for
he
fit,
was.
dog.
No, he
Come
was
on,
showing
for
it.
fit,
He
man.
was
How
showing
you
it
mean?
anyway.
I'm
He
just
was
saying.
showing
No,
it anyway.
You're
I was
a
telling
Man
him I was
United
gonna
supporter
go
in
anyway.
disguise.
You're all
Don't worry,
good.
we don't hate you, dog. Don't worry, dog.
You're all good.
I was going to say Africa is different because you get if you have African players and people from those countries latch onto them. And oh, by the way, Phil really is leaving. All right, thank you for being on, Phil. It's good to have you.
See,
We'll
I
have you
see
get,
two
we'll have you
things,
get soon.
man, I'm
No,
leaving, dog.
he told me in the chat that he told me in the private chat that we have that he needed to go.
Oh, word up, big up,
which-
Phil.
Totally understandable. He's got stuff to do, and I get it. We love having Phil on with us. From Chicago, I forgot to mention that from Chicago. No, Africa. No, Africa's a little
Chicago
different.
Blacks support them.
Yes, Black Fires.
Word
I
up.
think Chicago
Black
Black
Fire.
Fires. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, word up.
And I know Scott, who was on earlier with us, sent some stuff to Phil for his effort there in Chicago, which is great. It's good to have the family helping each other. So yeah, Phil's a good dude. We like having him on.
Always.
Africa, you get African fans who, they take a guy like Drogba, or even, like a Patrick Vieira, who, was French, but he was from Sierra Leone. I think Sierra Leone, or Drogba was from Ivory Coast, and I think who was from Senegal. I can't think. Maybe Vieira is from Senegal. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. Anyway, whatever. So they latch on to some of these players because they come from their countries, and I get that. I mean that's understandable. That's understandable. Manchester United used to have a lot of Korean fans because of Park. Park Ji-sung had a lot of.
What a player, man!
Good player, yeah. And I would imagine you get Tottenham with a lot of Korean fans, and that's
Sung-min,
that's fine. I mean, that's fine. The problem I have. Okay. I thought we were wrapping up. We may not be wrapping up after all. Hang on a second. All right. Hang on a second.
Don't tell me it's what I think it is, Doc.
Huh?
No. Oh, I thought somebody was coming on, and I was like, "Don't tell me."
Maybe.
Well, we were making our predictions, and
no way.
The predictions are always.
Did we get Phil's prediction?
I don't think you did.
I don't know that we did. I feel.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
No, that makes me feel really bad. I don't know. Well, anyway, you know what? It's all gone a bit.
Pete Tong. It's all gone. Pete comes on. Pete comes on a strong arm, and it's all gone a bit Pete Tong. Yo, no, there's
I
no.
probably haven't made life any easier for you, have I?
No, not because of you. No, I got to get better at the rhyming slang. I got to know more about
freaking what people he wants on.
No, I like it. I have everybody on. You guys know that. I have everybody
we have fun, Doug. We have fun.
Nobody's. Who was that? You guys, just before you guys were on the network, we had this woman on named Georgie Leahy. I didn't know what to do with her, man. She was crazy. She was out of her mind.
She was nuts.
Do you remember? Did you ever see that one?
No,
that was
check it
way.
Out. What's it called? What episode was that called?
Oh, I don't know. It's way back at the beginning.
It's in the archives.
Long time ago. Yeah.
No, I'll find it.
Her name's Georgie Leahy, and I thought she was gonna take her top off, and I'm just like, well, I'm just saying.
No, I get what you're saying.
I try to keep it like decent. I didn't know what to do with her. Like I had no idea what to do with her. So that was
PG-13.
It don't sound like PG-13.
It was a little embarrassing. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh,
Roy. Boys.
Roy, how you doing?
How are you?
Roy's in the building.
Now, where in Texas are you, my friend?
No, gentlemen.
Are you there?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
I've been watching. What does anybody want to guess?
Where you live? Are you still down in College Station? In that
Here
area?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I got cousins. My mom's got cousins live down there in College Station. I got cousins all over Texas.
College Station sounds like a bus terminal. Like College Station.
Yeah.
College Station.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm down here in Aggieland. How you boys doing?
Yeah, we're all right.
Oh, good, man.
Big university in College Station. Texas A&M is a College Station. So.
Nice one.
Big.
Yeah, it's like north of Houston, south of Dallas, kind of thing.
Yeah. How you doing, Ray? What's going on?
I've been listening for almost an hour and a half now. This is great.
Glad you like it. We've been known to go on a little bit, and yes, well, apparently. The Georgie Leahy one, yeah, it wasn't great. It's not my proudest moment, I gotta say. Yeah, not my proud, but whatever. It's come and gone.
Keep the lightning in the bottle, baby.
Nice.
Lightning is pretty tucked away at this point in my life.
I do nothing on Tuesday morning, so I'm actually just starting to get lit up. Let's go.
There you go. We have done,
my
show,
G. Yes,
this show in the past has gone like 3.5 hours. I don't think I can do that tonight, but we've done this like we've gone way deep, and we used to start at 9:00 at night too. So we used to go like, but anyway.
Well, maybe not. Floyd? Well, where are you, Lee? Aren't you in New York?
I'm in Boston.
Yeah. Well, same time zone. So yeah, you start at 8:00 my time.
Yes, that's right. 8:00, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the middle of the night. Like Budgie's up in the middle of the night. Look at him, he's falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep, buddy. Don't
And
you
plus,
worry
he
about
needs
that,
to
mate.
sing the tune, dog. Sing the tune,
I'm
dog.
I'm all good. Oh no, come on.
Sing the
mate.
tune, please. Sing the tune because it's so dope. It is so dope.
What are you
Like,
gonna
it's the
sing?
best
What are
thing
you
I
gonna
heard.
sing? What do you
No
got?
one likes a beggar.
No, that's right, Lee. That's right, Lucas.
well,
Sorry,
you're
yeah,
missing
that's
out.
right, mate.
All right.
All right. I'll sing it for you, but only one time.
Yes,
Okay.
please. Let's go. Let's go, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's a song about Yarmolenko. It came out. Well, I found this. I found this. This was put on the group chat earlier today. So it goes. His name is Yarmolenko. He wears a magic hat. He hates. What is it? He fucking hates the Germans. He doesn't kick his cat.
Russians.
Oh yeah, Russians, isn't it? Sorry, yeah. Rewind. Right, his name is Sorry, it's because my writing's terrible, isn't it? His name is Yarmolenko. He wears a magic hat. He fucking hates the Russians. He doesn't kick his cat. He plays football for West Ham. That's how he got his fame. His name is Yarmolenko, and he comes from the Ukraine.
What? I love that.
It's good.
We're gonna have to send Budgie like a metronome because that was a little tough.
Well,
I am not a singer. I am not a singer.
We'll do the tuning thing. Like, give me a
Oh, you done great.
Put him on some Drake.
Oh, you done great.
Give me
Yeah,
right.
I dude, last fall I got to go overseas for the first time. Well, with not the Army, and I went to the Everton away match, and
oh wow,
dude,
that was that was good.
Goodison's a good ground. It's a good ground.
Well, it was a good ground.
Yeah, so it won't be next season.
That was this season.
Oh, it'll still be a good ground. It'll just
it was October.
Football.
October, yeah, that was a great game. Yeah, that was a good match. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the attendance or kind of the seating capacity works out well for them. Maybe they should just scrap the plans for the new one.
Well, they may be scrapping them if they go down, right? I mean, they're in some real trouble.
They're right in there, aren't they? They're right. Sorry.
Their running is brutal. If you look at their running, it is really brutal. I mean, it's like
they've got to consider
Arsenal, Manchester City, like right on.
They've got to start thinking about the money that they're making from parking in Liverpool Stadium, at home matches, and maybe factor that in.
Ooh. Those are fighting words, dog.
I love it. No, all jokes aside, though, wouldn't it be incredibly mad to see Everton go down? It's effing Everton, man.
They've never gone down.
They have. They have actually. I found out yesterday.
It's like the 50s, right?
Yeah, 1951 they got relegated from the first division, and in 1953-54 season they came back up, and they've never been out of the top division since.
So before the Cold War,
more than my lifetime.
But before the Cold War.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about
long time before that.
We're in the early 50s, like my parents were.
Yeah, 51. Yeah, literally 5 years after the end of the war.
Right.
I will say one thing. I was so excited to be able to go to a match in more of an old school stadium. Grounds. I mean, it would have been great if going to the London Stadium, but I walked on the outside and got some pictures, and that was enough for me. Like
were you ever able to go to the bowling ground, Paul?
I went to where bowling was. I got some pictures. I actually went back to the grounds before, found the old ticket gate and everything. Oh yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, the West Ham Fan TV guys and I've turned into like their token Texan. And I was able to make a trip over there, and Nikki showed me around. Just
nice.
We actually had a pint at the old Bowl Inn, which is now renovated. But
been there.
Yeah.
Well, I went to it before it was renovated. Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we road tripped up to Goodison and.
Nice.
Do you do stuff for those guys?
I've done that journey a few times actually.
What's that? Oh, I got both coming through.
So, are you on their channel, Roy? Have you been on? I don't.
I've done I did post match fan cams during the pandemic, and then I did one obviously outside of Goodison Park.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
See, West Ham Fan TV, I've always known the Hammers Chat guys better because that's like Charlie Walsh and
Right.
Tom used to work for Hammers Chat.
Yep.
So I've known the Hammers Chat guys better. I don't know the West Ham Fan TV guys as well, although we've had them on the channel, but I didn't actually do the interviews. It was Tim who did that like years ago. He had Nikki on. He had Dom.
Well, and that's a lovely thing about being an American is like being an American Hammer is that we don't have any sort of kind of random bias from one channel to another. So we just take it all in.
I feel that.
No, that's how I feel too. I mean, I watch James's channel. I watch the kid. What's the kid's name?
I got Corey.
Jake.
I got Corey on there.
Jake. Yeah.
Jake.
Jake, Jason, Dan. I watch all of it.
Young Jake did.
And so I got over there, and turns out, obviously, these guys with these channels are all buddies. I mean, despite them hating each other's clubs. So I got to hang out in the Arsenal Fan TV studio, which is, it's nice, man.
Did you get to meet like Troops and Robbie and them?
I got pictures.
Oh, trust me, Troops is a legend dog. Yo, DT legend dog. Robbie legend dog. How you mean? Yo, I got love for those cats, man. Straight up. Like I know this sport of a different football club, but their passion is beautiful, man.
They make a lot of money. They rake it in.
Oh no, Arsenal doesn't screw around. Well, he's big boss man. But
I love those. Dude, those are awesome.
But just genuinely good dudes. And I sat in for well, I got to sit in on a panel that I don't know if it's finally been released, but it's like think of like your standard watch alongs that we all watch here in America when we can't catch the match or we can't listen to the Robbies anymore. So we're like, I'll listen to my watch along guys. I'll watch the match kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they had this panel. It was kind of like a watch along scores, everything, and they were running everything from Premier to Championship to League Two, and it was outstanding.
Wicked.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a pilot that I got to sit on. I don't know if it ever launched, but if it does, I just sat there and drank beer. Although I'm very Budgie. I gotta ask, what is y'all's fascination with Budweiser?
Right.
Budweiser.
Right.
I don't have a fascination with Budweiser.
I love that, Budgie.
Everywhere I went, I was like, everybody's drinking Budweiser. This is what we stole from our dad when we were 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say Budweiser.
It's piss beer.
No, that's probably for the millennials and stuff, but not for proper people like me.
Honestly, you and me both. I mean, I'm not old by any means, but I'm in my 40s, and they had like Corona, or they had Budweiser's, Coronas, and some sort of energy drinks. And I was like, I thought you guys said you had beer.
Yeah, that's piss. That is piss. Like a nice director's bitter. That's beer, dog. That's beer, dog.
Dude, if you're in England,
I'll tell you, even like a Carling, like I know it's a lager Carling, but
I love
Carling would
Carling.
do me, dog.
It's
that would
too
do me.
weak.
I know that's like the UK Budweiser, but listen,
but
Scrumpy Jack will do me still, dog.
Before I showed up in London, I spent 3 days with a buddy of mine that I actually went to school with here at Texas A&M, and he now lives and works in Munich. And if it's not Augustiner, you're wrong.
I had a great German beer the other day. A friend gave it to me, but I wasn't paying attention to what it was. But I took a picture of it so I'd know what it. I could look for it again. But if you go to England, you don't want to be. I don't want to drink Budweiser anywhere. Okay?
No way.
But especially not in England, where you could get the
don't get me wrong. It was
nice ales in that. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They just had like a little kind of like beer bucket kind of trough thing. I was just like, this is fair.
Yeah. Now I think what's happened is that because Budweiser sponsor quite a lot of the sporting events we hold in the UK now, it's they're one of the main sponsors of certain events. I can't put the name to any of the events offhand, but for example, like the England games on TV might be sponsored by Budweiser or something. Yeah. And so therefore people think it's cool to drink it because, they're sponsoring the England games and stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
Lee,
hold on, Peach, 1 second. I think Budgie and Lee might be the only two out of the five that are old enough to remember this. You thought about smoking You thought about smoking Marlboros because every time you watched the game, Marlboro was somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
That's true. And also, you know, some of my sporting heroes were openly smoking them on TV and in the general public and stuff. You know, Barry Sheen and James Hunt, two of my sporting heroes, both of them were sponsored by Marlboro. You know, personally sponsored by them.
Oh, the Arlington Stadium.
Jim Leland, Tigers manager.
Arlington Stadium, the original
There you go.
stadium, where the Rangers played their first stadium, had the big set of billboards across above the bleachers across the back. Huge billboard out there.
Yeah, you watch the field goal, and that's all you see is a big old pack of cigarettes.
Exactly. I mean, every pro stadium had Marlboro stuff everywhere. Yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
Yo, Lee, let me ask you one thing.
Yes.
Pass this question around to all the men like in like on the screen right now. If West Ham was a beer, what beer would we be?
Oh God.
Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful, dog.
I mean,
a Milwaukee's best.
I was gonna say,
I
think
Busch Light.
I think we would be. Hang on, I'm gonna show you this. Because you'll see what Roy's talking about here. Hang on, where's the deal? All right, here it is. So this is the old Texas. This is where the Texas Rangers played in their early years in the 70s and 80s. And you see that's right there in the outfield, the big Marlboro billboard. So every time somebody hit a fly ball, you got Marlboro, Dr. Pepper, you know, Budweiser. Look, Budweiser out there too. So I'm pointing at the wrong thing. Anyway, yeah, there's Marlboro right there. Bud. This is from the later stages of it. Channel 11, which is not the same anymore.
That's a beautiful ballpark.
This ballpark?
I like it.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible beyond belief.
Oh, yeah, no, we've got to talk about you calling that a beautiful ballpark.
It was so hot.
Where'd you go?
It's better than Skydome. Skydome is shit.
Out here, you got no shade at any point ever until the sun went down out in the bleachers.
I just love the bowl look. I love it.
This is where the fights were. The fights were out here. The fights were out here.
London Stadium.
All the bourgeois sat over here, right? But the fights were all out here.
No. Actually, if you go well south of actual home plate in the circle, all the bourgeois sat where they don't show.
That's true. Because they got shade. This got no shade out here. This was hot. You could leave a game at 10 o'clock at night. It'd still be 97 degrees outside. It was brutal. Brutal.
You know what's funny is, and nowhere in a million years would I ever want an American owner of West Ham unless it was me, because I'd be like, let me find the people that. Well, no, because I'd be like, let me find the people that actually know this, and we're actually going to talk to fans, and we're going to do this right. Like, I know shit about it. I'm just here to give money to the manager that needs to sign. I don't know, people in January or the summer.
I'd run it all. I'd run the whole thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't run shit. I would appoint people to run shit.
No way, man. I'd sign all the players. I'd be the manager. I'd do everything myself. All of it.
We're spot on.
No,
we would be 45.
So Lee really likes playing FIFA.
Actually, I never play FIFA. That's the funny thing.
Flash.
That's disturbing.
Well, with let
me show you. Frankie Boy's done said that, like, West Ham would be caught 45. I think West Ham would be Old English, dog. Old E, straight up.
That's actually a pretty good shout.
You get what I'm saying?
No.
The hamsters in the wheel are moving.
Old English is shit, though, all the time. Like, Colt 45 is good sometimes.
Hello. But an Old English goes down nice, dog, and you get the big bottle, too, dog.
Hold on. If West Ham was an English beer,
we are plastic.
The way we're playing right now, we'd be Tanglefoot.
No, we wouldn't. I know. I seen that. Man, I seen that.
Budgie, I don't know you, but I all of a sudden love you.
Budgie's the best, Paul. I'll tell you,
that's
Budgie's
fantastic.
The best. Yo, subscribe to his channel, Green Street Elite. It's dope.
Maybe we'd be a St. Isles.
I sat down with Budgie. I did an interview with Budgie a couple weeks ago, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
Green Street Elite's channel. You should watch his channel. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Off topic. You guys ever go? If you're ever on Twitter, look up a guy named Jack Elderton. All right, Jack Elderton.
All right.
He does great great analysis of West Ham games, and he will do 30, 40 tweets, and he'll go almost like.
He's the still picture strategic like colored lines, right?
Yeah. This guy.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna show you his,
Alderton or Elderton?
I'm gonna show you his.
He needs to be shared to every American on the planet. Like, no, literally, this is how football works.
This guy, Jack Elderton with an underscore here or whatever that is. This guy. I mean, look what he does.
Okay, Elderton.
So like, you take this is the Villa thread, all right? And he's got he'll take a picture and he'll explain to you what's going on. And look at this. This is from 3 minutes into the match. Okay.
Well, and Lee, you know what he also does? Sorry, just to piggyback.
No, go ahead.
He says what's good and what's bad.
Absolutely.
He's not a hammer ass kisser.
I mean, he's three tweets in, and we're in the 4th minute. So the guy is like, he's incredible.
The guy probably needs a girlfriend.
I don't know. That's possible. Yes, I don't. Yeah, that's maybe.
Or she's a hammer and feeding him pictures.
I mean, this is tremendous stuff. And
that's quality. That's quality. You know,
if you want to learn about the game, if you want to learn about the team, the guy knows what I don't know what his training is, but he knows what he's talking about. It's really, really good. It's worth looking at. So anyway, Jack, that's
not beer. But
I should have promoted him hours ago in the show, but anyway, whatever.
West Ham, what, Lucas?
This isn't beer, but West Ham are like a Four Loko. Only few people can stomach it.
Well, hold on. Is it the original Four Lokos or these shit new ones?
No, the nasty new sugary ones.
The big cans. Big cans of Four Loko, dog.
Honestly, I'm gonna go the other way. I feel like it's more the old school Four Lokos, where when I was still in the 82nd Airborne, you're like, can you go 16 Loco? And you're like, I don't know, but here's my health insurance information in case.
And everyone hates us except for a few, which is us.
I don't run that. Straight up, man. I used to be on them Four Lokos, dog. Straight up, man. Like they had
the fruity flavors,
so it was like Peach all about that, dog.
I think one of the most
shocked by that, Peach. To be honest with you,
trust me, dog. Trust me.
I do trust you.
I have a very small sample size here because it's kind of like it's not Aggie Land footballers so much as like all the footballers in Aggie Land. So it's still a small group chat, but the majority of them are spuds, like I said earlier, because whatever. Because
Spurs, Antonio,
I know one Arsenal guy. I know one City guy who is currently playing in the NBA.
What?
But yeah, he's from here. He's got a good reason. In fact, hell, he did the Blazers with Roger Bennett. I love that.
Who do you know who's
hilarious.
playing in the NBA? Who do you know who's playing in the NBA?
Yeah, that was like dropping names, dog. You just drop names, dog.
I don't know.
It's not the
you
guy.
How do you not know? You just drop names, dog. Of course you know.
It's not the Celtics guy, is it?
Oh, I wouldn't be friends with him if he was playing for the Celtics.
The Celtics have an Aggie player.
Good man.
Time Lord's an Aggie.
They do.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Aggies have like 3 players in the entire league, so just start doing the math.
Well, let me tell you something. I went to TCU, Roy, and TCU's only had like 2 players in the NBA ever. So, you know.
Well,
hey, yo,
so
Roy,
I think I can maybe make
You're doing better than we are.
I didn't like, yo.
Didn't DeAndre Jordan go to Texas?
But like, yo, Roy.
DeAndre Jordan played for. He was a one and done.
There's a dope new
Shouldn't have been, but he was.
But he did play at Texas A&M, correct?
Winning Titles. You should watch that show. Winning Titles. It's about like Magic Johnson and Dr. Bus like making like LA Lakers a legacy. It's dope.
Damn,
Winning
I pulled that one out of that.
Winning time.
Peach, I appreciate that, but we don't win titles. So I'm trying to, you know.
I know, I'm showing you, dog. The LA
I'm pacing myself. I'm 42 and I'm already pacing myself in life. All right.
I know.
For hope.
Watch this. It's about Magic Johnson and Dr. Bus, dog, and it's come up.
I will say 42 and pacing yourself in life. Did you say?
What's that?
Did you say you're 42 and pacing yourself?
Yes, because I feel like it's the only way to make it to 50 at this point.
I'm 60 and I can't even spell pace.
Well, then you are honestly you are an inspiration to me because
I was going to say
I'm an Aggie and it's brutal.
He's an inspiration to us all. Budgie.
No.
So, all right, Budgie. So, are you currently in, or are you from?
Sorry, what? Am I in? In what? Sorry.
Where people talk like you, or?
All right. I know. I'm. Yeah. Sorry. I live south of London. I live right next to Gatwick Airport, basically.
Oh, I know where that is, and I've been there
sure
once, and I actually know where that. I've been there once, and I know where that is.
Yep.
Pick up, Roy.
Well, I literally live 5 miles from the runway.
Is that where you did you grow up in South London, or?
No, I grew up in Crawley, the town that I live in.
Oh, okay.
I was born here and I grew up here. My parents were from the East End, so that's where my West Ham inspiration comes from.
East End does.
Crawley Town. There's Crawley Town. There's a Crawley Town. That's
no, hey, Budgie, for the record,
right.
For the record, anytime I do a British accent, it's not making fun of you. Like, okay, it's right, proper, mate.
That's pretty good.
Fucking East Enders.
That was dumb.
East Enders. Yeah, mate.
East Enders.
You don't want to hear me trying to do an American.
Any Boston accent you hear from me, it is an insult.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
what?
Me too.
Oh, I can do it all.
I
can do the Boston because you guys are a bunch of fucking.
The man with the talent, dog.
You guys are a bunch of massholes, anyways, and and
I've
Budgie,
only lived here for 25 years. Okay, I've only lived here for 25 years or so.
And you sound like you're from fucking nowhere, Iowa, that never met anybody that's black ever. Like that's what you sound like.
You know where I'm from? I'm from Midlothian, Texas. Midlothian, Texas. It's true.
Oh, you're Midlothian.
Midlothian, Texas. However,
so you just took that whole accent and shut the shit out. Huh?
I did.
I can't admit to being from Midlothian.
Well, nobody wants to. I don't want to.
What the hell is Midlothian? I never heard of Midlothian.
You don't want to.
That just I didn't. Yeah, that.
Peach, that's called small town
Texas. You know where it is. You've been through it. I know you've been through it because you go from Dallas to Houston, you drive through it. You have to.
Why would I go from Dallas to Houston when I can drive from College Station to Dallas or College Station to Houston?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying if ever in your life.
Yes. Back in the day when my grandmother lived in Gilmer, Texas, which is east of East Texas. Yes, I drove past. Yeah, I drove past the exit that said Midlothian. We were like, nope.
You just keep on going. You just keep on going.
Like Gilmer is better. Woof.
You just keep on driving.
What, Gilmore? Billy Gilmore? What are you talking about? I'm lost.
Oi. Peach. Oi. Budgie.
Oi, Savoy. What's going on?
Peach. Oi.
Yes, my friend.
Budgie, where you live?
He's trying to put on his accent again. What the fuck?
I love it, right? See, it's not good, but it's good enough. But every Londoner, every British I've ever met trying to do Texas like yow. We don't even say yow here in fucking Britain, mate. It's a fucking Tuesday, mate. What the fuck you saying yow for?
You need to be on Coronation Street, homeboy.
Can you do a Providence, Rhode Island Italian accent? The most disgusting accent in America.
Bad. The Providence.
I hear that.
That's hardcore. That's hardcore.
I'm not saying I'm in witness protection, but I would probably be best if I didn't.
Yes. That to me is the worst accent in America.
Providence is not great.
Especially when you get.
Well, but they love it. They love it. They got
a good judge there.
The Italian food is.
You got a good fucking joke, huh? I fucking roll on, mate.
He's from Manchester now.
They got a good judge down there, and they at Providence.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
No, mate, Budgie. Providence is the joke, mate. That's a joke.
Oh no,
Providence.
Don't worry.
Providence. You don't think I sound like a Texan, Roy? You don't think I sound Texan anymore?
I think you literally sound like you spent your entire life like trying to not have an accent at all. You just sound like an American nerd. I love you, Lee. I really do. But goodness gracious.
Here's the thing. You're absolutely right. That is what I spent my whole life trying to do. Not have an accent. It's true.
I did it in the Northeast. I did it in the Northeast. I did in San Diego. I figured out that if I speak more like the locals, they don't disrespect me as much.
My mother has moved up here with us. Or my mother lives with us. Okay. After my dad died, my mom came up. She's lived in Dallas her whole life. She's in her 70s. And everybody.
I heard it right there. Your whole life.
Well, everybody
Heard
asks
that.
her, "Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?" All I'm saying is I don't need to be asked like every day where are you from, especially since I've lived here for a long time. So yeah, the accent is sort of morphed into just like
it's a very just general kind of where everybody else makes
American-
fun of
it's
us American
American-
accent.
Exactly, it's American classic.
Like, oh
Yeah,
look,
but
I have
you
a
ever been, on
I,
vacation where like they say you have an accent? You're like, I don't have an accent.
I don't have an accent. I don't have an
no,
accent.
absolutely.
It's
Oh,
weird,
I-
right?
we when I went to Everton, they were like, all right, these guys are Scousers. I was like, what? They're like, no, they're cool with saying it, but Scousers. I was like, okay, and then it's just they're talking with like marbles in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's not just marbles, but it's the fact that they only grasp about 30 to 33% of the
Right.
actual language,
Like
even though they live there.
like peanut butter at the roof of their mouth.
Try the
Yeah.
Jordan. Try the
Jamie
Jordan.
Carragher.
And marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Hold on,
What do you think about the Jordan?
Lucas, you might be onto something.
Oh,
Boston,
and
fuck.
understandably.
Oh no,
And
no,
understandably.
Lucas is onto it. It's fucking peanut butter.
Yes.
Peanut
And
butter.
they say roof, not roof. Roof.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
And milk and not
hut.
milk.
Oh, it's hut outside. It's hut.
Oh, they're so terrible.
It's hot. It's hot out.
I mean, like big fans, Jay, love you guys, but
It's hot
Wow, this show
outside.
just turned up like 90 degrees after like Roy came on.
All right,
dog.
Budgie,
Big up
Budgie,
Roy.
can
Straight
you-
up.
Can you
we should probably
understand
talk
Jordan?
about West Ham things, actually.
Oh, we're done with
Yo,
that. That's,
you're
that's,
ill,
we don't
homeboy.
have to. I mean, that,
Ill.
if you want to, but I mean, that's not necessary
fine.
anymore. Roy, Budgie, can you understand Geordies as an English, so I can understand where they say.
Yes, I can actually. I
Right.
have actually got a good link to Newcastle because my two adopted daughters, their father is a Geordie.
Oh, okay.
And
okay,
when I
okay.
first had them come to live with me, they had strong Geordie accents, and over the 15 years that they both lived with me, they lost their accents. They became Southerners like myself.
I was gonna say
And,
normal.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that too, dog.
and then they moved back to Newcastle to be nearer to their natural father when they were like
Yeah, I was gonna say
16,
that.
17.
Yeah.
And now they both talk with strong Geordie accents again.
Oh,
So
that's
yes,
good.
I do understand them.
okay. No, okay.
Hey, no, that means Budgie does understand him, and he's cut them out of their will. So fuck it. King Geordies, right? Budgie, you have to understand, I'm absolutely not at all making fun of you. I think the British accent is the greatest thing on the planet. I love it. The proper British.
There's like
Fuck the Scousers,
I
but I
don't
love the
ever
British
take
accent.
offence. Don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about the Glaswegians? What about Glasgow? I
Oh,
don't get a word of that either. I don't get a word of that. Either.
I don't even think people in Glasgow do, mate.
Yeah, you get a drunk Glaswegian talking to like
They
Glasgow.
just speak mush mouth to each other.
They don't have any idea what
Like,
they're
it's
saying.
the
Yeah.
C word,
Wait,
like, every,
no,
like, 2
No,
seconds.
nobody has any idea what they're talking
This is
about.
why
But-
Scotland can't be
Matt,
independent
it's
because
Matt,
they can't. They don't.
They
They don't talk. They don't. They don't talk to each
speak
other.
they speak the
Yeah.
kind of English where you're talking in sentence and you only pick up the middle of the first
100.
sentence and then the last word of the sentence, and you're like, all right.
100, my G.
But-
No, I'm better off. I could listen to like Greek and probably pick it up better than whatever they're saying in Glasgow.
But Budgie, I've got one request, Budgie.
Yes, mate.
If I'm physically right here with this, please don't say funny shit. I can't. I mean, I'll mop the floor again, but I'd like to not, because it's gonna. If I'm right here,
Okay.
I'm not drinking scotch or whiskey.
No, it's Smirnoff, I know.
What are you drinking?
Drink some
Shots.
Rocky, dog.
Shots. It's Monday night.
Drink some
My
Shots
my
of anything in particular? Or
my
just,
my Monday is my Saturday. It's Red Bull and orange vodka. It tastes like an orange tick. It tastes like an orange Tic Tac.
Smirnoff,
Ooh,
Smirnoff, by any chance?
that would kill me. That'd be like
I saw the
Well,
bottle earlier.
I'd be better off
Don't
drinking
worry.
a paint thinner.
If
It's a bottle of Smirnoff with a net round it. I saw it earlier, so don't worry.
he's the only one actually paying attention.
I'd
Hey,
be
yo,
better
Roy,
off.
what
drinking
do you
paint
think our
thinner.
chances against Sevilla are on Thursday, dog?
Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen, Roy, on Thursday?
Please.
Well, I
Roy.
think it'll depend on whether or not Moyes wants to pick a different formation or Nobes can. If I'll tell you what, if we can get honestly, we can get 45 minutes out of Nobes' legs, I like our chances.
Boom.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
Get him out there. Seriously.
Yeah.
Hey, I actually like that statement, Roy. That's a good statement. That
I do too.
I might have a bigger crush on Mark Noble. Yeah, trust me, we're good.
Noble's
he's one of these. Still listen. He's still one of.
I don't think that it's going to pivot on Noble's appearance, though. I think it's going to be more about who we play up front.
Well, Moyes doesn't pivot at all, and that's kind of the problem.
No, he doesn't. I know.
But is it the problem? Is it the problem? Like
it's the problem when he makes what look to be like impact subs in the 78th minute. You have to give them more than 10 to 12 minutes to actually be an impact.
Agreed.
You ain't gonna sub-minute at the 52nd minute, but
agreed.
If Ben Rama is an impact sub, which I think he's more of an impact sub than he is a starter. Because like he's just so quick, and even though his flair ends up in turnovers here and there, he can do things that nobody else on our club can.
100%. Even when he brought on Chester's the other day, it was like he had Chester's like on the sideline at 85 minutes, but I think he came on at like the 95th minute or some shit. Like
it's just
it's
maddening. It's maddening, and I love Moyes. But his
I do too.
Me too.
Like his substitutions are like he makes subs like we're ahead and trying to waste time, but more often than not, we're behind or it's a draw and we're trying to snag the 3 as opposed to the 1 point. And it drives. I love him. I do love Moyes. You can't, considering where he's kind of driven us to with a club that, let's be honest, hasn't been changed in 12 months. Yep. No summer moves really that were any impact moves.
Yep.
No January moves at all.
Well, the summer moves were not good. I mean, they were. Well, Krall has not worked out on loan at all. Vlasic has had a limited impact. I mean, the summer moves didn't really do much for us. We didn't do anything
except for Zuma.
Except for Zuma, who was massive. Yes, I agree.
But do you think with this transfer window that we have till April 7th, we're going to get some people in?
No, I don't think they're even looking at it.
Nobody believes it.
I wish they would.
Nobody.
They could pick out of Russian clubs and
Chile, like Argentina, Brazil, all the players that are playing there that are playing in Ukraine, Russia, we can get them. But
I would love that, but if we didn't buy it in January, I don't know why we're going to do it now. I don't see us.
Well,
now.
It's a combination of the fact that 2 windows of lack of movement or really substandard movement is now all of a sudden
showing.
We have knocks and we don't have a bench worth of shit.
Yeah,
back against small times,
and we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen, and now it's happening.
Right, but you're all kind of hoping, right? Maybe we just stay healthy, and if we stay healthy, we're good, right? Like we're all kind of crossing our fingers. And
I trust Moyes, Doc. I trust
like
Moyes.
after drinking a 4 Loco and waking up the next morning. I hope I'm all right today.
You get what I'm saying?
If you 3, 4, if you went 12 Loco and you woke up the next morning thinking it was going to be okay, this is where we're at after the January window.
Nah, I disagree, Doc. I disagree. Moyes has a plan, man. Moyes has a plan, and he sees his squad is like good enough to push on. Doesn't have much like belief in the youngsters in that, but like
Pete, you will never find one of the bigger Moyes lovers on the planet.
No, Brethren.
But you can criticize him too. No,
I don't want this boy. I don't want this boy back in the club. But he proved me wrong. So it's like, the signings he signed have been exquisite. He has not made one bad one since come in.
Yeah, but he hasn't made some good ones, and it goes both ways.
Yeah, but he ain't done as
Budgie, you want to help me here?
Pellegrini.
I will help you out here, Roy, because for me, signing Alex Krall on a temporary or loan basis or on a permanent basis was a completely wrong move. There was no need for him, and he hasn't shown that he's
good enough.
West Ham quality. So no, that was a poor move on his part. He's made a couple of brilliant signings. And okay, some of them have been junior signings, but he's still made some brilliant signings. Kurt Zuma is probably the best signing we've made in 3 years.
You know, Budgie, honestly, he was a brilliant signing, but we paid for him. I think the most brilliant signings were Dawson, who, by the way, I commented like hours ago, like, I don't even think Dawson can afford to live in London proper on the wages we're paying him, but his floor of consistency is a lot higher than his ceiling is low. So Dawson will frustrate us, but that
he's a what is he, a £5 million player? You can't buy anybody for that now. That's just not even.
Yeah, but then you think about. Well, hold on,
all right, Ken. Which one does he look like? Ken's.
Okay, look,
like one of these guys.
None of them have uneven ears, so he doesn't look like any of them.
Definitely Ricky.
Dawson has one ear that points to space.
No, Ken thinks you look like one of these guys, Roy. He thinks you look like one of these guys.
Me.
My buddy Ken, who's on the chat here. We go watch.
Oh, big up Ken. He's the encyclopedia of West Ham United.
Shout out Trailer Park Boys.
I was like, Ken might be drinking more than I am.
Trailer Park Boys. Big up Trailer Park Boys, dog.
I don't know.
I mean, if I look like one of those weirdos.
Not this.
I see a resemblance. No, take the glasses. Take the glasses off of him.
Julian looks like Razor Ramon. R.I.P.
I think it's like this dude, right? I think it's like this dude, right? A little bit, maybe.
Oh, Bubbles, Julian, and Ricky, dog.
It wasn't my idea.
Some my people, dog. How do you mean?
Me and Peach actually know this show. Just saying.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't take rocket appliance.
Yeah. Hey, weird New York Jesus or Boston Jesus, just chill.
Yo, who was the Lucas? Who was the boy that always used to eat the cheeseburgers, dog? Randy.
Yes.
He was the lick. He was
the
lick, dog.
You know what I realized, and you guys can cut me out and shut me out of this video if I say this incorrectly. I have not heard enough from Lucas relative to actual footballers.
What? No.
And I feel like Lucas. Well, of course you disagree, Pete. You came in.
You know why? Because Lucas comes on West Ham Random, which is my channel. Big up West Ham Random. Lucas comes on West Ham Random and talks two things about like footballers that like will blow your mind.
I talk enough. I talk too much.
Ain't even playing, dog. Real talk.
Lucas, I'm gonna squeeze like 9 more words out of you.
Ask me a question, I'll answer it.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna ask who. If you were David Moyes, what would be your formation at the start of the game, at the start of the match, and what would be your formation at halftime? That's it.
I would go 4-3-3. I'd go the usual suspects in the back with Areola. If Cresswell travels with his team.
Well, assume Cresswell. I'm sorry. Assume Cresswell and Antonio are out.
Okay.
Because I think I'm a worst case scenario kind of guy.
That's much harder, yeah.
Yes. I would go, me personally, I'd go Areola, Fredericks at right back because we have to at that point. Yep. Zuma, Dawson, Ben Johnson at left back. Yep. I would personally go Noble, Rice, Souček as a midfield 3, and then I would go Fornals. You'd have to play Yarmolenko.
You have to.
At striker, and then I would go Ben Rama on the right, which would leave us with Lanzini and Vlasic as our impact subs.
Whereas I would start with Vlasic.
Would you?
I'd start with Lanzini, dog. Straight up.
I'd start with Vlasic up front.
I'm with Budgie here. I would start with Vlasic because from what I've seen,
Vlasic might not even be fit though, Roy. He might not be fit though. Roy.
Yeah, mate. What I'm saying is he doesn't have much in the tank because he doesn't ever get to play. You can say conditioning and practice grounds and all this other crap, but real life conditioning within match, you can sub him off early. But that's the problem: is does Moyes understand that you're allowed to sub at any point in the match?
I don't know about that. You're right on that. You're right on that 100%. You're right on that.
No, but Budgie, I'm with you. Absolutely. It's just it's whether or not.
Yeah. An impact.
I mean, the thing for me is you've got to take away the emotion of what happened yesterday. You have to. You got to be objective. You can't be emotional about your selection. So Yarmo came on yesterday, and it was a dream, dream substitution.
One of
He
the
came
greatest.
on, he scored his goal.
Truly,
considering everything that's going on, it was beautiful.
International story. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, of course.
Too right.
But you have to take the emotion and that away from it when you're making your selection. And for me, Yarmolenko has been lazy in this last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And I believe that Vlasic has done enough to warrant being selected in front of him with the amount of effort that he's put in.
I do as well, but that takes an impact sub off the bench. That would leave us with just Lanzini, which is not good enough. We need 2 impact subs.
Here's a question. I think we did.
Impact sub, Doc.
Was Yarmolenko not an impact sub?
Do you want to bring on Mark Noble chasing a match?
100%.
But here's a question, and it hit in the comments, and y'all addressed it earlier tonight. Given, and look, I'm not trying to take advantage, obviously, of anything. I'm a retired Army guy. Like, I get it. Like, there's a dude that hates war more than anybody. It's me. Trust me. I'm infantry. A paratrooper, he's jump out of plane. I don't like war. Nobody likes war that actually does war. Nobody.
I believe that.
So especially the people that are dealing with their family in a country that they can't even contact.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason of all these years of him getting all these wages, and Sunday a light went on where he truly understood that hammers support hammers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you got to at least give him a shot, right? You have to.
That's how I feel, Roy. I think
I'm not trying to take advantage of the situation either. I absolutely ever not.
Real quickly. With Yarmolenko, I look what you just said, Roy. I look at it the same way with Fornals almost. Fornals has to start because he's not an impact sub, and he's like one of the last people I want off the bench chasing a match. I feel the same with Yarmolenko. I'd rather see him start than come on and try and get us a goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lee,
but then the question. No, hold on.
Belly right now from like scoring, like how he did when he came on as a sub, because I think Yarmo has fire in his belly right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think. Listen.
I think it could be either.
I know how he's been. We all know how he's been at West Ham for the most part. However, what he did yesterday, and maybe it was a one-off, but maybe, as Roy said, maybe it's a new Yarmo. Maybe it's there's something that has clicked over in him.
Yes.
I mean, the man's been through legitimate tragedy. All right, he's been his country is going through a horrible, tragic attack.
Well,
he's had to go rescue his family. I mean, something about him yesterday was different from what I've ever seen from him ever before.
Me too, dog. It was
and I'm saying this is why I'm saying
it was like
go
with
form.
Was Ukraine. It really was.
Antonio's out of form. Antonio's probably injured. Put the man out there. Give him a shot. Give him a shot.
But here's my question, and I get that we're unfortunately talking about football relatives and political stuff, and I
mean this is a horrible thing we're talking about.
But wars are political. That's exactly what they are.
Of course they are. I realize that, but I mean, it's not controversial to say that we're standing with the people of Ukraine.
But no, there's nothing controversial about that. My thing is, if for some reason that specific moment where Antonio had to come off and Yarmo came on, and at no point would Moyes have made that substitution otherwise. When he comes on,
right,
given the global situation, geopolitical situation, he scores a goal, breaks down in tears, and like I was real close to getting emotional about it. I was like, I mean, you can't write these stories, Only sports does.
Yep.
But then his post match interview when he talked about, and again, you talked about the broken English, maybe you got it, maybe you didn't. But he talked about like, wow, basically, to paraphrase, holy crap, Hammers fans are. God, they're behind us all, and they were incredibly behind us.
The sad thing is we've always been behind him, but he just I just feel like he hasn't.
I think something.
Hold on, real quickly.
Yeah. I'm with you, Roy. I'm with you.
I think it's a combination of he didn't play a lot, so he didn't show effort, and then Moyes didn't see the effort, so he didn't play him a lot. It's kind of like this circle, and I feel like Ben Rama gets a little bit of it too. You see his frustration with either he comes on like in the 86th minute, and Ben Rama's like, "Really, this is what you signed me for?" Or he pulls him off in the 61st minute, knowing that Moyes never makes those 61st minute substitutions, and so it's kind of a circular thing where. And my biggest thing, and it'll sound a little dickheaded, but they're professionals that get paid to do it. The effort's there, whether you're on the bench or not. I get it.
Should be.
I'm not one of those guys. I get it, but would you rather play all the time for a championship team or play some of the time for a Premier League team?
Roy, that's a good fucking point, Doug. That is a good point because I rate Ben Rama best at like championship level. But what he did against Sevilla shows me, shit, he has that in his locker.
You're right. Benny.
Like,
I love Benny.
Would you rather do two things for like a Premier League team and then like play all for like a championship team? I played the part in the Premier League role. So no, that was a good point, homeboy. Straight up.
Well, but I understand it too because you have to realize that every player that's in the Premier League, their entire life outside of the Premier League. Has played all the time everywhere, and they've been the best. Everywhere they've gone, they've been the best.
Absolutely
they get
right.
So we're having some thunderstorms here, but I mean, everywhere they go, they've been the best, and now they get to a Premier League club that, even though it's little old West Ham, turns out we're Europa,
right?
So it's
we're fighting for top six,
So the real question is, I think Ben Rama could be better. If given a little bit more time or even just trust. Like you want to bring on an impact sub at 65, 70, 72nd minute? Absolutely. You want to I think if you started pulling Antonio at the 78th minute of matches, I think he'd get it. Because I feel like everyone's talking about tired or muscle or all this other stuff. I think Antonio is just mentally tired. It's not physically tired. It's not lactic acid. It's not.
I feel like he's done as much as he can do in the circumstance he's in. He's played almost every single match.
And we all knew
he has cried out. He has cried out and said, "We need to sign another striker. He needs competition." So honestly, I think Antonio is a bit of a scapegoat, if you ask me.
I am not. Look. There are a couple of players on this club that I'm like, they could go. Antonio, despite him not being a natural 9, like his entire life 9, he's not very clinical right in front of the goal. Last 6 yards is brutal. It is what it is. But Antonio is one of those dudes, and I hate to say this because what we would rather have is all the dudes for Man City wearing the West Ham badge and just winning trophies. But the reality is what we truly want is people that play for the damn badge.
Yes.
We always have. That's true. Yep.
But Budgie is writhing in his seat because I'm probably saying some stupid stuff.
Not at all. I actually agree with everything you just said there, actually. But I do want to go back to a comment that was made earlier. I believe it was Hammerhead that said it. We're already 1-0 down. We can't afford to wait until the last 30 minutes to make our move.
We need it from minute one.
We need it from minute 1. So with that in mind, you're saying that Vlasic is probably one of our better impact subs. If he's that good as an impact sub, surely he should be that good as an impact player in the first 60 minutes.
So all I'm for me personally, I'll say this real quick. I think Vlasic he plays better when he starts and comes off the bench, but you can't take Fornals off because at the end of the day, we do need to get a goal, but we need to keep some sort of foundation. You know what I mean? We just can't go full blitzkrieg from minute 1.
If I could pay you for your opinions, I'd be giving you $1,000. I'd be giving you $1,000 though, because Vlasic off the bench is trash relative to Vlasic in the starting 11. I will say that, and it's he's a talented player, but off the bench, he's not an impact player because he's not in the flow of the game, and it's easy to see that It's the flow and the ebb. It's bad, but off like starting 11, I like Vlasic.
I do
And
too.
I would. It's tough because we do need a goal, obviously, but at the same time, we can't just go full blitzkrieg from minute one. We got to like at least warm into the game the first 15, 20 minutes, and then
Leads.
Yeah.
Leads.
It's a difficult situation. If we were 2-0 down, I'd fully support minute one. You're on their ass the whole entire time.
We're a
Just zoom in the back, ready to go.
Yeah.
We're a
Do you remember? Do you remember the Leicester game at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
That's the kind of performance I'm looking for tomorrow on Thursday.
I was pleased with the Aston Villa performance.
I would want a
that was
Leicester
nice
kind.
from them. Yeah.
I thought that's the kind of performance I'd like to see. I mean, I think it was about 5 minutes or 7 minutes or something.
Thursday's going to be a bit weird because I personally think Sevilla. I think they're going to sit back because they're so good in being compact and just.
You're right. Okay.
Well,
you're right.
I think Sevilla will sit back because they're up 1-0.
Yeah.
I don't think they're so good compact.
They could sit
but
back
that's the problem. We're so shit when we have to put our foot on someone's neck.
Yep.
We're terrible.
Because we counterattack. Yeah. So if
we need to basically give them the opposition for us to get a hold of that match.
So set up a formation to where, oddly enough, in the last 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks, let Deck just drive forward. He has created so much, not shooting, not the perfect pass inside the 18-yard, but when he drives, the other club freaks out. Yeah. So that's why you have to have that Noble in the center, Suchek sitting back, let Rice drive.
And then Noble just clean up things like a sweeper type of role.
Don't make him burn his lugs out. He's old. That's okay. We get he's old. Yeah, we get he's old, but let him sit back, which turns that 3 or 4 in the back, whatever formation you're looking at, like it adds another basically to the back because Noble will always sink back into that that line and that formation that West Ham, look, we're known for it. Like we sink back into position on the back line very well.
Yeah. And another point that you made.
I'd rather have Johnson and Longello rather than like Fredericks and Johnson. I'd rather have Longello and Johnson. Longello
it's not going to happen though, is it, Pete?
There's no way.
No, I know.
American dream.
We can call for any players, but we know that David Moyes has got his starting 11 already. The point that you made though, Roy, was when you said about when Rice drives forward, the other team kind of back up and they're not quite sure of how to go with it. But the other point is, of course, when Rice drives forward, so do the rest of our players. So you'll find that the attacks are much more effective when Rice does that because the whole team drive forward with him.
Right? Which is what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Booch. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say which is another way of us getting forward because you've only got to look at the FA Cup game. Against who was it? What's their
Liverpool?
Name? No, before Liverpool.
Middlesbrough.
Or no, Kidderminster.
Southampton.
Kidderminster.
I mean, our FA Cup game?
Kidderminster.
Yeah.
Kidderminster. So we didn't really drive forward until Declan Rice basically picked the game up by the scruff of his neck. And literally drove us forward. And that's what I'm saying. Rice has that in him where when he drives forward, we drive forward.
He did it yesterday. He did it yesterday.
Yeah, he did. But he does it so regularly, we miss it half the time.
Yeah.
Because he's so damn good at what he does.
Yeah, when he sits back, when he sits back, we're like, "What the fuck, Deck?"
Yeah,
like,
come on, we need you up there.
Yeah. Souček doesn't have the speed, and look, oh my gosh, can it be more obvious that?
But in fairness, driving forward and getting the ball forward that way, that is Declan's forte when it comes to those 2 guys in the middle.
Oh, every time
when it comes to dead ball situations and the ball's going into the box, I'd much rather have Souček in there.
Oh no, but the drive forward, like the commentators love to say over here, the lung busting runs.
Yeah.
You
like
can't,
that.
but you can't trust Souček to do that.
No. But what I'm saying is that on the dead ball, like corners, free kicks, and stuff, the person you want in the box is Thomas Souček.
No, absolutely.
Just headed to the back of the goal, dog. Trust me.
So really, it's the runs that we can run out of a 4-3-3, which we're all, light a candle, praying that we get a 4-3-3. But so Noble couldn't really. It's only be like a 4-1-2-3. Just hey, Noble, you don't have to run much. Just intercept and dive a lot, and we'll be fine because you're Noble, and they'll buy it, and you'll always get the call. So I think playing Noble is the smart move if you can go 4-3-3 because it allows.
4-2-4, dog. Because you can change a 4-2-4 to a 4-3-3 and like a 4-4-2, dog. Honestly. Well,
for me, it just allows Rice to move forward. It allows Souček to move back. And Lee, you showed it earlier, that dude that was showing all the stats and the colored lines on.
Yeah.
And he talks about it when Rice moves forward, Souček moves back. And maybe it was just that match because it kind of feels like it for like about a month that maybe they weren't in that kind of communication. But when Rice moves up and drives, Souček was able to move back and cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like if you want to run a 4-3-3, Noble wants to run 10,000 yards on Thursday about like I want to run 2,000 yards.
Also, we gotta think about this. I know I talked about the impact sub and stuff, but if we go 1-0 up and we go into extra time, we need subs. No one's playing 120 minutes.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet you I can name you 2 people that will play 120 minutes without even.
Well, yes, the usual suspects, the obvious suspects.
Well, and here's the other question: like you start Noble, and I've made a comment this earlier. Like you start Noble, and you understand if you can get 45, plus stoppage out of him, out of his legs, knowing who he is, how he plays, and how much he loves West Ham. If you can get a first half out of him, like a true first squad, half out of him,
get a guaranteed 60.
See, well, what I'm saying, like even if you just get 45, you like your chances. So, and that's why I think it's not like a celebration retirement tour where we give him 10 minutes on the back end. Like he needs to be an important part of this tomorrow, and it's because of injuries, but it is what it is. But I hope he's been drinking his fucking Pediasure, whatever his old people drink. I don't know, Budgie. What do you guys drink?
Me? I drink draft lager.
Jared, you took that Geritol.
On a daily basis.
Hey, Jared.
I'm fading big time here. Okay, so tell me one more time. Let's go around. Give me your prediction for Thursday, Lucas. Tell us what's going to happen on Thursday.
I've been waiting to say this.
Go on, Lucas. Go on.
This is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be the perfect. It's going to be the perfect knife in the gut, pull out, and it's going to turn into triumph, valor. It's going to be beautiful.
Valor.
It's going to end. It's going to end.
It's.
What were you going to say?
You said valor and knife in the gut, and I'm like, these are not.
This match is going to make you sick.
We're not going back into Afghanistan.
Well, I'm an engineer. I like math. Go.
It's going to end 2-1. But listen,
Oh,
it's going to be 1-0 going into extra time. Sevilla are going to score in extra time, and then we're going to score a winner last minute. 2-1.
You trying to kill me?
Yeah, for the record, if that's right, on Friday, I'm going to need you to give me the lottery numbers for Saturday.
Even better, I'll give you every March Madness pick I have.
They're all wrong. A&M didn't make the tournament. They're all wrong. Screw them all.
They got shafted.
Absolute.
I don't know. Okay.
2-1 West Ham. We win it in extra time. We move on. Beautiful scenes.
We draw Barcelona. Okay, what do you think, Budgie?
2-0 at half time to West Ham. 3-2 at full time.
Wow. Okay, so
still sounds gut
wrenching. That's including the away goal, like the goal that we've already conceded.
Okay, so that's the aggregate then.
Yeah, I think they'll only score 1 goal on Thursday.
Okay. All right, Peach.
I'm saying 1-0 for Sevilla going in at halftime, and I say we win it 3-1.
Oh wow! Oh man!
Yeah.
This is drama. So much drama. Okay, Roy, the King, Le Roi. Roy, what do you think?
You have to realize there are certain things about me that absolutely loves every team I root for because I root for them. Then the rest of my life, once I pick them, I'm done.
You don't have to change your wardrobe with West Ham. With A&M and West Ham, you can wear the claret. It's the same color.
That's a long story. It's claret is maroon, and I'm an old infantry guy, which is blue. So I had no choice.
There you go. Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to go 3-1, so 3-2 aggregate. I'm going to go Benny, Dawson, and Zuma. 3-1.
Please tell me Dawson gets the Dawson. Okay.
Yeah, I just realized my
No. Dawson will get the first, of course.
Dawson gets the first. Okay.
I realized I'm an idiot. My math is wrong. I'm going to go 3-1.
Thank you.
Because aggregate would have my score aggregate would have been 2-2 going into the
it'll be 3-2, and it won't be close. Like at the end of the game, we will somehow, unlike West Ham, control possession.
I think it's going to finish. I think we win on the night 1-0. It's going to finish 1-1. We go into extra time. Nobody scores. We go to penalties, and
don't Lee. You better stay consistent.
Why?
You better predict us to what. You got to keep it going.
Wait a minute. I'm just saying we go to penalties, and
Areola wins it.
And Mark
Imagine.
Mark Noble steps up to keep us in the penalty shootout, okay? And I'm leaving it at that. I'm leaving it right there.
You know what? Hold on, Budgie, before you go.
No prediction.
Budgie, before you go, I'm going to amend mine.
Yeah.
I think we win 3-1, so we win aggregate. I think Dawson scores, and I think Zuma scores, and I think Nobe scores from a late pen.
Right.
You know the truth.
Just you know why? Because Yarmo scoring on Sunday with the Ukraine Russian thing as sports write the greatest things ever. Noble has to put the game away on a penalty. I'm a big fan of the romanticism of sports.
Let me just say what I think is really going to happen. In all seriousness,
you say fortune's always hiding.
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose 5-0.
No, it's gonna be pretty bubbles in the air.
Draw. It's gonna be a 1-1 draw, and we're gonna lose the tie 2-1. That's what I really think.
No, shut up. You know what?
I tell you what. Hold on.
Lee has to do that. He has to.
Hey, Lee.
Wait, I'm a pessimist and I'm superstitious.
Since you're a Red Sox, hold on, Lee, you're a Red Sox fan and you have a beard. So if we come out this, you need to turn it into at least a goatee. You got to shave off that shit.
Oh my God!
Do it. No. Say it. Put it on record.
No, listen.
It'll grow back. You're a hairy motherfucker.
It will grow back. That's true.
So just go to.
You need to transition into Johnny Damon.
Damon. Oh, sorry, wrong Damon.
Okay, so yo, I'm gonna say Rice, Suchek, and Noble. They're the goal scorers, Doc. They're the goal scorers.
Hey, Beach.
What up?
Noble on a pin, yeah?
Done.
Let's be honest. That dude ain't scoring from open play.
Nah. We're gonna win 3-1 on. We're gonna win 3-1 on the night.
Why are we not calling him bougie?
We're gonna win 3-1 on the night. It's gonna be a Ben Rama hat trick.
Yo, I love that. You know,
no containing James.
I got a fever now. I got a fever now.
You realize if that happens, James will.
I'm not saying I'm
about it ever.
I'm not saying I'm gonna log off.
In him. I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ben Rama now, not Fever. I'm saying I don't doubt he's got it in him to get himself an hat trick, mate.
I'm not saying I'm going to log off and go directly to my betting site because the odds on that have to be fantastic.
They have to be astronomical.
But I'll tell you what.
Imagine
I'm going to put some money on this, and if I win, I will send you half minus the conversion ratio. So whatever.
What a man!
All right. I got to tell you, this is
you're talking like $2 for 1,000. Like $2 for 10,000. Yeah. Fuck it, Budgie. I got you, dog.
Mark Cuban, dog.
Good man. I'll send you my bank details on Sunday evening.
Do it, Budgie.
He's
checks out.
Do you know what? Actually, that's a good shout. I'm actually going to go and put £2 on it. Ben Rama
for Joe, the odds of that have got to be at least 1,000 to like 7,000 to 1.
Yeah,
so
hang on, I'll tell you what odds I can get.
That would be mad.
Just wait there for 1 second, guys. I'm gonna look at what odds I can get.
The odds on a Ben Rama hat trick on Thursday, right? Thursday, not Tottenham.
I can't see it, but if it happened, wow.
Because the Tottenham match is actually a Dawson hat trick. Unfortunately, one of them will be an own goal, but he'll score 3.
He already scored 2 in one game last year. Was it against Arsenal?
All bullshit aside, I love Craig Dawson so much.
Oh, he's the best. Yo,
of course, he's the best. Of course, he's the best. He makes less money than you do. Of course, he's the best.
Yeah, don't know. He's superb.
Actually, you know what? Mark R just hit it. I'll tell you what. You know what would be perfect? Hey, Mark R just kind of hit it. You know what would be perfect? Is if Yarmo scored again. And then all of a sudden, every hammer on the planet will be like, maybe that's what lit the fire. Hey, we all know how he plays for his national team. We watch him, we're like, how come you can't do that shit in London?
Right. Like, where's this player? You know what? I'd love that. I'd love Yarmo to score that. I would love it.
But you know what? But then he did it. Yeah. And I get that he's in an emotional part of his life that I literally can't understand. Being deployed, going to war is different.
What would the odds be on a Yarmolenko hat trick? That would be out of the roof,
mate, they won't give you odds on that.
All right, put a half a quid on that.
Yeah, you get me?
I've just had a look on my betting app, right, on my Corals app, for a hat trick for Ben Rama on Thursday.
You can tell who the old people are because we actually still have the headphones.
It actually says there are no odds on this. Please return to the site shortly.
Bastards.
So there are no odds on it.
Wiki fucking pricks, mate. Fucking bunch of cunts.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm starting to fucking learn, mate. Maybe you check it out Tuesday. Fucking what? Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Fucking check it tomorrow, mate. Maybe it's 48-hour rule. Bunch of fucking cunts. Bunch of fucking pricks.
All right. I'm fading big.
Lee, what did this show turn into, dog?
The best kind of show.
I love it, dog. I love it.
It's a fucking Emma show, mate.
Emma's in it.
This is
the Emma's in it.
You're never,
come on.
I tell you, you are not.
There
you go.
There
you go.
Hammerhead 400 to 1.
Put something down on that.
Put something down on that.
Who's that with, Hammerhead? Because Corals ain't giving me nothing.
I would appreciate this. We would appreciate
Yarmo is 250 to 1, and Ben Rama is 400 to 1.
You slap 5 on both. Slap 5 on both. It's not gonna hurt you.
All right. All right.
All right.
Hey,
Roy is
Lee. Thank you for bringing me on. Roy,
anytime. I just before we go, Scott, Phil, and Tom.
Bunch of mate. Hey, fuck Lucas. Fuck fucking Pete, mate.
You sound
bunch
like,
of pricks.
You sound like Johnny Rotten. You sound like
you're fucking rolling right now, mate.
Who else? Is Scott and Phil?
You taking a piss?
Everybody's Peach.
He's taking a piss. Budgie, he's taking a piss. Eh?
Lucas.
Are you related to Peach in any way, shape, or form?
We're all related to Peach somehow. All right.
Hey, well, you know what? I gotta be honest. We're American hammers, and there are very few of us.
And Roy is American hammered. Which is also good. All right. We should do a show on Friday. We'll see on Friday. But in the meantime, okay. Gentlemen and ladies and everybody with us, come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Up there, Hammers.